Futures little change this morning, trying to get back to positive territory here as we await April non-farm payrolls. We'll bring that to you as soon as it comes across. Looks like we are just getting this number as I speak here. So the increase, 428,000 versus 380,000 expected. So decent number there for April non-farm payrolls. The market overall coming off one of the worst days we've seen since 2020. Yesterday, for all three U.S. indexes back in negative territory. The Dow was the worst off, down 1,000 points at one point during the session. NASDAQ fell 5%. At the end of the day, the S&P 3.5%. So all three looking to get back to the upside here to end off what has been a pretty ugly week overall. Technology stocks taking the brunt of it once again. It was cloud names, it was retailers, it was mega cap tech, all back in negative territory at the end of the session after that pretty impressive post-Fed rally we saw on Thursday. Ton of earnings to get through this morning. Nothing earth-shattering as far as movement is concerned, but we'll talk about Lucid coming up, obviously DoorDash as well, Peloton with its own news this morning as well. A lot to get through this morning. If you missed that, again, non-farm payrolls for April, 428,000 versus 400,000 expected. So pretty decent number there. It's Friday, May 6, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, there we go. Trying to get back into positive territory here to start things off. That number helping things out. S&P and NASDAQ back to the green. The Dow 0.3 still in negative territory. Another move for crude oil there, 1.5%. Some oil companies showing some strength to start things off. We gave back yesterday's rally and then some at the end of the day for crude and oil. Bitcoin, Ethereum, yeah, wow. What a move we've had over the past couple of days back in negative territory. Welcome to a Friday. I mean, I tried to bounce there a little bit, guys. Good morning.
My camera's way off here.
That non-farm payrolls, though, decent number there.
There we go, Fahad. Yeah, I was like sitting in my normal spot, and I'm like, why am I cut off here? But yeah, it's Casual Friday here again. We're all cashed up. Right now we have golf later on, so you can see Brendan's ready to tee it up there.
I
got
feel
the
like
golf shirt on.
I feel like the market wants to just go and hit the courses right now. And I mean that because volumes across the board, we were talking all morning long, we were talking about how low volumes were even on some of the names that were reporting. And I kind of feel like, I know it's the good payroll number. It's a weird one because you would think in the environment that we're in that you want the bad news there because if, I mean, we'll see what happens, but the market did make a little bit of a spike. It went green, it went back into red. There are some earnings to get to, but I'd say disappointing volumes on some of them. You can see I'm into one of them. It's probably not too much of a shock. But yeah, whether it's Fubo or Under Armour, oh my goodness. Yeah, that's not much to do about nothing. Under Armour with a big miss. We'll definitely get to that. But I feel like we're going to be going back to some of the names that we were trading yesterday because those are the bigger stories, right? Some of those
go back to the well.
All those EV names were wild, and we'll go right back to that well.
What's up, Brady? I see you, Brady, in the chat. Yeah, AMC today on the sticky note. Oh, you can almost see it there, almost see it. But yeah, I like AMC today as well. And we almost got short Apple there into that rip for that non-farm payroll number there. It's going to be, it is a big jobs Friday. It just came out. I think that right now, like what Neil said, I almost think the opposite now. We want to get good news because I think the Fed's decisions, what they're doing moving forward, hopefully are baked in. So the better that we can get, the better the market. We used to want, you might be right too. I mean, who knows? But we used to want to cheer for bad numbers because that means the Fed would less likely begin to raise rates and trim the balance sheet. But I feel like right now they're on course to do that no matter what. So let's just wait to see here. I still like Apple short today. There's a few good names on the watch list, including DraftKings. Congratulations to DraftKings holders. However, did we just fade back down in there? Yeah, well I saw it $15. So DraftKings still up that 5%, which I know the last time we saw any of these names start to rally the day like that. So it's going to be good, man. I feel like the market today, although Neil sort of hit the nail on the head with the volume there, and many traders maybe taking the day off. Look, I'm exhausted from the last couple of days of trading.
Was nuts, man.
I have like 3 or 4 days in a row of over 300 trades. The market's been absolutely insane. So let's see if we can just chill out a little bit now. We have Block. We have a lot of names going today. Finco Ventures. So Brendan, it should be a busy one.
Definitely going to be interesting here, guys. Just noting the jobless rate last month actually ticking higher. So 3.6%, you're not going to see it on there, but anyways, 3.6% versus 3.5% expected. So the actual number in the right direction, but the unemployment rate actually ticking a little bit higher there. So heads up on that. We'll see what happens here as far as the overall market is concerned. Before we go any further, let's bring in Miss V. Good morning.
Good morning, team. Happy Friday to you all. I wish you a wonderful, profitable trading day. Please make sure you like this video and let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, lots to discuss here as we head towards the open, under an hour to go. A ton of little tiny companies reporting earnings still, guys. Just saw GoPro go by, Goodyear Tire, Cloudflare on a note. So a lot to talk about as far as movement today, but Sean, you brought up a good point when you came in this morning, just discussing the simple fact that after what we've seen over the past couple of days, volume down this morning. It's been a tough week for the market, obviously, right across the board. But, a lot of people may be just exhausted at this point and not really interested in any of these earnings reports.
Yeah, plus, like it's a Friday. You're not going to get big, huge, hopefully, well, we could get a big, huge move today. Who knows? The market's actually just went green right now. So, hey, maybe we're off on this one. A nice move to the downside here. Now, are we going to try to test 13,000? That could be interesting, as the NASDAQ was just down 0.7 or 8 down here. Now you turn positive. Like, we just moved basically 1% here in the last 30 minutes. So, hey, maybe there is going to be some action. AMC's already starting to go up right now off that as well. So some nice moves happening here. But, yeah, look, I just think when you look at Apple and you look at some of these names, we may get short very, very soon here on Apple. 157.70 we're waiting for in there. But, look at the 20-minute chart. You had just some crazy moves over the last couple of days. Apple started, down here, 154. We made a move all the way to 166. This is over 2 days. And then yesterday went right back to those bottoms again. This is kind of unheard of in about 2 weeks of moves here. 172, almost all-time highs for Apple back just on April 21st, then just straight to the downside, upside, down, up, down. This is the roller coaster that the market's been in, and I'm just using Apple sort of as a proxy there. There's obviously been a lot of stories in between this, including banks up and down, AMD down to 85, up to 100, now settling mid-90s. It's just been a wild ride, and I think was it Kathy, or I'm not sure who it was. I think they were talking with Dominic on here. I don't know. I apologize where it was. I know Brady's on there as well, but someone made the point of just saying they don't know what to do in this market. And it's like, give me some ideas. What are we doing here? And I think that's sort of the exhausting part right now. We sat down and I actually had a hard time building up the watch list today, the sticky note, because I didn't see anything that was super, super exciting. So we went back to the well. But, I think there are going to be some good names. I see you have crypto up there moving around a bit now as well. So there's always going to be names to trade. It's just a matter of, has the market exhausted itself? The Bulls were in control on Wednesday. The Bears in control yesterday. So now today is like, okay, where are we going to sit? And I don't know if we want to hold positions over the weekend. I think this Russia-Ukraine thing seems to be slowing down, but it's not getting any better. So I don't know. Oil today up another 2%. I just feel there's just so much happening, man. It's just like, it's information overload.
It has definitely been that. The one thing that you can put to the low volume thesis would be, okay, well, if everything hits just like we're at resistance points yesterday, and it was like, okay, coming off the big bounce in the Fed, everything was sitting at overhead resistance, which got broken the last time we had the rate hike, and that's why you had to follow through. It didn't get broken, so the only room to go is down. Well, if we get to support and there's no volume, then you might just start leaking up because the shorts might have more to cover, I suppose. That's a possibility. I only put up Bitcoin because I saw everything bouncing there, like we're mentioning after the number, and then you bounced off of the low of that plunge yesterday. But this is still well within the range that we put in overnight. So it's not really breaking out per se. Tesla just broke 880, so that is somewhat breaking out. And I kind of feel it's going to be tricky here, even on the ES. You're in the bottom end of the channel, but you got to that 4,100 again, and we were below. And I remember specifically when everyone sort of talked about these levels down here, 40.95. We hard rejected that 49. It's still a wick bottom on the ES. If you take a step back and look at the range in the last 2 weeks on the ES, And all we've done is come right back to the low. We once broke it. We rejected that break. We're now on low volume bouncing off of this 41. So there is always that chance that there's just not enough juice to get us through. Like there's not enough people around to sell maybe to get us through that 4,100. So I'm just going to play off the key levels here. If it's a good level, I'm going to play it. The only thing that might open up and sort of be a little more aggressive on is probably Virgin Galactic, because from a fundamental standpoint, the degree to which they're pushing things back makes it hard to understand why it's not like about $5 right now, or maybe like 6.5. It hasn't even taken out its all-time low, which I think most people would be shocked to know. It's not below the all-time low, even after a bad earnings report.
I'll have a look at space coming up here. I just saw Spotify guy CEO buying 50 million worth of shares for Spotify, saying the best days are still ahead for Spotify. It's been a while since we've had a notable IPO. You got to go back to mid last year, I guess, or maybe Q4 of last year when we had some come to market. But a reemergence, I guess, of Bausch & Lomb in a different form here coming today. BLCO. This is going to be dual listed, so both in Toronto and on the NYSE. Coming today, 630 million total raise there, 35 million shares. At 18, which is $3 off their prior range. So about $6 billion valuation there for Bausch & Lomb.
Spicy. I mean, I think it's the second biggest IPO of the year with that $6 billion. And guess what? I mean, this is 2022 where valuation matters. They had almost $4 billion in revenue. And they actually they had a net income. So they made like 100 million or something like that. It wasn't gigantic, and it was, the number is a little bit interesting when it comes to looking at it a bit deeper. So there is some cause for, I guess, concern. Also, they're pricing at the lower end of the range. I don't think should shock anybody. I think they were trying to come at that like, it was like 20 to 24, something like that. They're going to price at $18. I think that makes a heck of a lot of sense. You just had a big dramatic drop off in the overall market. But we'll be excited to actually be able to look at an IPO of an established name. There won't be anything to see here. I mean, like the tap, like there's no quote just yet. The tap value will be 18 because that's where it looks like it'll open up. But I have it on my quote board already, and I'll make sure that I have the imbalance locator up so we can get an idea when it might open. It's just been a while since we've seen an IPO worth looking at. So we'll give you any updates, but nothing just yet.
Yeah, I mean, here's the level 2 right here. It's just going to be, it's tapping, like Brendan said, $18. I'm going to take the opening print. I mean, just to see what happens with it. It's interesting that it's dual listed, so you can also get the same ticker symbol here in Toronto. Again, a healthcare name. What is it? What was the not Valiant? Yeah, it's for the eyes, but they're a spinoff as well. So yeah. Anyways, I think it's a good opportunity here. Let's see if some interesting buyers come in and take this down. It's a bigger company. This is not one of those low float IPO names. So we're gonna have to play it like normal. I'm just gonna take the opening print and see where we go. BLCO should be some fun anyways today. Hopefully we don't get too hit, but I don't think this name will take forever to open up. I mean, again, the volumes don't seem to be too crazy here today. On that note, let's just check out yeah, I mean, look at this. There's your Fubo. Neil actually had an interesting tidbit about Fubo. Oxy, other than that, there's really nothing here today. So I think with volume being light, they'll probably open up this Bausch & Lomb hopefully soon, hopefully before 10:30ish, and then we'll be able to trade it for you guys live on the show. But I'm taking the opening print.
It wasn't that interesting a tidbit on Fubo. It's just the last couple of days we've been sort of bandying about like what has the most dramatic pullback
I think that's pretty
from the
interesting.
2020 or 2021 highs. And we were saying C3AI. A lot of names got thrown out there. You could have put like the first one that came up was Teladoc, and then C3AI.
I just called Teladoc up now.
But C3AI was then worse than Teladoc. But Fubo blows them all out of the water. Actually, from $63 to $3 is easily more significant. We did say it had to be, like the high had to have been made after 2020. Like that's the entire
problem with
point
that
of the
63
exercise.
is, I guess, is that it was part of the whole
it's
meme craziness,
okay.
right?
Well,
so
you
I think
could
Teladoc goes from 300 to 30 is pretty close, but
C3AI beats that.
But even if you use 54 as the top there on your
If you use the other high, that's
more like it. Yeah.
Because even this high is equivalent to those. Because Teladoc is $330 to $30
for Fubo.
The C3 is $190 to $17. So that's actually pretty crazy too. But
hell. There's so many stocks, Brendan, that are like this, man. Clover. Brendan, you brought up Open Door. I mean, Open's $8, right? I mean, so yeah, this has just been. Look, if you think that there's, you know, blue skies ahead here, you know, some of these names have been really beat down, but again, I don't think we go shopping on these names, right? I think you got to stick with higher quality names right now if you even want to put anything to work. I said yesterday I bought some Google, I bought some Netflix, and I bought some Apple. So we'll see what happens. I'm just trying to buy names that I think have a chance to bounce back a little bit, and then we can get out maybe in the summer if we start to just edge up a little bit here. I still feel like the NASDAQ has been beat down, but there's still a lot more to go. I think 3750 more on the S&P is where you're really thinking for a downside move.
It's amazing if you go back and look at a few things that you haven't looked at maybe in a few weeks or a couple of months even. Unbelievable move right across the board. Let's bring in Michael Moss, chartered market technician with Trade Ideas, for his look on a Friday. Good to see you as always, Michael. It's been another one of those kind of weeks. We get a huge post-Fed rip to the upside and then give it all back and then some yesterday. So, you know, we'll have a discussion here a little bit on what to look for as far as strength is concerned. And we've been, you know, highlighting the fact that oil and energy markets in general have stood out since the beginning of the year as, you know, very obviously in that category, relatively strong. Give us your take here on what we should understand and know about that space.
Yeah, so first of all, and this is something I've mentioned for a very long time, I always go to relative strength. It's just kind of my system and my style. And I think the reason I've been hammering it on it so much now is because it is so important. So, you know, you were just saying, you know, you look at a stock that was $100 a few months ago and now it's at 20. And as humans, we get kind of caught in this, you know, we want to buy the loser. We want to buy the guy that's having the most problems. We want to buy the underdog, you know, buy low, sell high, which is, me personally, I think is one of the most dangerous sayings in all of trading or investing. So what I always want to do when the market is selling like this is simply ask myself, what are they not selling? So what are the big institutions and hedge funds and things like this? What are they not going after? So, you know, we have a chart of the SPY here just to start with as just a nice simple reference to say, hey, this is what the overall market's doing. Brendan just talked about it. We had this massive rally post-Fed, and then we're right back down. We're still around that 420 area I've been talking about now. It feels like for years, but it's probably been months. But, you know, we're teetering on that edge. If we break down under that, you know, this could be a more prolonged bear rally. It could be that we're just going to enter this massive choppy range for a longer period of time, which is my bet. I'm going to do some analysis, I think, on that next week. I think it's just going to be, it's not going to be easy enough to go straight down or go straight up. I think we're going to be in a little bit of a mess. But what we need to look at is we need to say, okay, what is the market not selling? What is the market participating in? And the only two industries I could find was really oil and natural gas. So the next chart down I have is just a little bit of analysis on oil here. You know, anyone who's taken, you don't need to be a CMT for this one. Anyone who's taken any kind of technical trading type of a thing knows that this is just a nice bull flag. It's holding up really, really well in comparison to the market selling off. I know a lot of people, when I've been showing charts like this, have been saying, well, oil is overdone. So the next chart down here is a zoomed out view on a weekly chart on oil. And you can see we're still below our 2018 highs. We had that, you know, crazy sell-off. Oil went negative for a period of time. So a lot of people are saying, oh, we're so overdone in these. But really, if you were just to target the 2018 highs, you've got another 20% or so upside from here in oil. Same with natural gas, just broke out to a new high yesterday. As I was checking this morning, I think we were gapping up a little bit. And then next chart is down to a weekly chart. We are still well below our 2018 highs. So, you know, that's a long time ago. For some people, old folks like me were still trading during it. But that's, again, around another, I think, about 20% upside in this that we had in 2018. So not unheard of to continue to go with this. I know these things seem stretched, but I'm just kind of saying stick with what's strong, ignore the stuff that is breaking down. If Peloton's ever going to get back to $150 one day, you're going to have plenty of time to get in. So I quickly have a few names just to show you for the oil and gas space that came up on my scanners here. FLMN, we're gapping up today above all-time highs or at least recent highs around $8. So keep an eye on that one. MNRL, A nice wide leg doji just means a big confusion day after earnings. If this one can get over 27 or so, I think that's interesting. NFE, we're talking $49 or so is this most recent high. These things you'll notice are stronger than the ETFs. So that's why I'm kind of focusing on those. And last but not least is Chesapeake Energy. I think this one went from bankrupt now to a $96 stock. If we can get above that, that's all-time highs that I can see on this chart.
It's a great point, and almost worth reiterating. And I actually went out to a weekly chart on the SPY this morning, and if you kind of get that perspective and zoom out a little bit and see, from the pandemic low to where we were at the end of last year, I mean, this pullback is basically nothing yet. There's still a long way potentially to go to the downside. But to your point as well, if you go back to, I think it was 2014 through 2016, the market basically did nothing, was just chopping back and forth in a range. Like, from a technical standpoint, after a move that we saw, pandemic low to last year's high, it's almost constructive, if we get some congestion here.
Well, and not just that. It's, if you go back, and my friend JC at All Star Charts, you should check him out as well. He was talking about this, that if you go back after a crash, like the pandemic crash, and even back to Black Monday and these things, year 2 or 3 of that bull market is incredibly choppy. So after the financial collapse, after the dot-com bubble, after all these, you have these massive kind of Fed-fueled rallies, and they're generally not followed by collapses. They're followed by these large, messy ranges, which is harder for investors to deal with, because then you get maybe 2-3 years of absolutely nothing. For us short-term traders, I don't think that that's that bad. I just think we need to be a little more tactical. For you day traders, I think this is going to be your guys' time, because with that increased volatility, it's just more fun for you guys.
Yeah, and bigger ranges and more volatility, as you said. So great look, as always. Michael Noss, Chartered Market Technician with Trade Ideas. Appreciate the info, as always. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too now.
Interesting look there, guys, for the overall market as we just give the entire move back here from the jobs number.
Because obviously we have to give the entire move back, right? Like,
the market is back all the way back down to November of 2020 levels. So
yeah.
Michael Noss with some big tips there. And I think he's 100% right. For us day traders, man, this is what we want. I mean, it's been a wild week. Like we said, we're exhausted, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. You used the word fun there. I mean, it's sometimes pretty fun. And, I wouldn't be here if I didn't love the job. And I think that, we all got to sort of put up with that as we go. But yeah, I mean, it's been a good wild ride here for some of us trading. And I think it continues. I think you hit the nail on the head. He gave a few new names there. And Michael Noss from Trade Ideas, we use their platform, and everyone please, support them. We're not affiliated. We just go back and forth with Michael. We love to have him on the show. We just took out, well, first of all, I'm in a position now. The board doesn't show it, but it'll be up there in a second. I'm long. Okay, now I'm long DraftKings, and I just took long, obviously, here on AMC. You could see right there, 14.50. We got that long. Brady, you were asking me about it, and we took a little piece, 10% out for 10 cents. And now we'll see if it can go to the high side right now, but an early position on AMC. And then, I don't like this one, but it's in right now. DraftKings, a slight position. Like yesterday, we took eBay in the pre-market, and it wound up making $4 for us per share. So I don't think that's going to happen for DraftKings. And I saw someone in the chat say, yeah, Sean, pump up DraftKings. I'm not pumping up DraftKings. I mean,
what?
They had a report. No, it was just because I said maybe DraftKings is going to test, maybe a long today if we break through that 16. It's just they had better numbers. They guided better. They didn't lose as much money as everybody thought. Obviously, we know it's a losing business, and I've been like hammering DraftKings for a very long time. So I don't like DraftKings here at these levels. I just wonder about possibly finding a bottom here, and we'll get to these names, man. They're all on our watch list. But I want to see. This is a starting position at 15. Realistically, I want to try to get long. My big long is down here at 14.50. So if we can test that and then see what happens at 14, that's really what we're doing here. So this is an early start with DraftKings. I have no intention of this trade being the last one. If it rips up and we're unable to get any more long, fine. But I want to have something on board just in case we test that $16. But realistically, guys, 1450 down here is what I'm looking at with DraftKings. So that's my play there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and sometimes you get those crazy events like yesterday. If you throw out yesterday, what did I just get? I just got into Open Door, so hey, things are starting to come in here.
We're taking all these crappy stocks.
I know.
Man.
Well, Open Door, we looked at it, and I threw it in the chat. I'm like, oh wow, it actually had a decent recent trend. And I won't double down on DraftKings. I'll just move right on to Open Door because that just came in. I was gonna say, if you take out yesterday, you had a wipeout bottom on DraftKings and looked like you were starting a trend reversal. Of course, yesterday skews literally everything, but very, very quickly, Open Door, like they reported, broke out, and then did the same thing that DraftKings sort of did, fell right back in, holding that support, but you had the wick bottom, you had the break of the first channel, and then you essentially got through previous resistance at $8, held above it until yesterday's nonsense. We're gapping above that price. So I'm going to give it back to this 790 area here, just saying, hey, look, if it wants to hold this channel, and then try to break out on the way to the upside. It's a strong stock. I'll rather bet on something strong. So as it pulls back, I just got into it. But there's a few names on that list of upgrades and downgrades, Brendan, that we're going to be involved in or already involved in. One of which on the upgrades, my wife is not going to like at all.
Really? Kellogg's? Right. Not a cereal fan. Let's focus on this side because there's nothing overly exciting here. DoorDash to the downside, Citigroup. There's Fubo. That was what we were talking about. I mean, $3 for Fubo today. It's crazy. 20+%. Datadog on here as well. If you remember, Datadog had a decent report earlier in the week, actually a decent move as well. And yeah, there's Space. 6% at this point for Space, guys.
Yeah, like Space. So my wife doesn't like Kellogg's. It's like a personal thing, and I love Frosted Flakes, but I don't get to have them. For Virgin Galactic, and we'll get to the watch list obviously, but I wasn't kidding around. I was saying I would be willing to bet you, given the recent sell-off that we had just had and what yesterday had done, and the fact that they didn't have a good earnings report, this is the kind of stock that you'd think under those conditions would be underneath the bottom. I think it goes down to not just exhaustion from yesterday. Some of these things have fallen so far that there's not as much sell leaning on them. I say that with the caveat that I am short right now, looking for it to go to that low, down at about 665, 666. It might actually be 670, but it's more fun to say 666 is the low there. But Virgin Galactic under some pressure. And there's a lot of names that look exactly like this, where they're right at all-time lows or just recently broken all-time low or a 52-week low. Those are like those decision points, which as a trader you want to be involved in. And whether you win or lose, when you get to like a crisis point or whatever in a stock, that's where like the best trades or opportunities tend to come in, whether it squeezes off the bottom or that it breaks down and falls through, like we saw with 3 or 4 of those like online retail type names yesterday. So you got to make sure that you're looking at them when they get to these levels.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is going to be another day here. I don't know if the market, like we were just talking about the NASDAQ, it sucks because I was literally pennies away from being short in Apple. Look at this move, Brendan, what's just happened right now. Like, out of nowhere. Like, I don't see anything coming through. The last big news report, and this is your job, I guess, but the big last report there was, that I saw anyways, was the jobs, and that was a good. They liked it. It went up here almost to 13,000 again, and then look what just happened. Like, this is the NASDAQ 1-minute chart here at 8:45. This started. It's just like, what the hell? Like, I don't even know what to say today. This day could be another epic bloodbath, man. Like, I was not expecting this kind of, like, that's a big move here. We just said maybe there wasn't going to be too much movement. Well, we've just moved. I mean, we were up 0.5%. Now you're back down to minus 1% again. That's like a 1.5% move to the downside here on nothing, with low volume coming through, making me scared about my AMD bids. Where am I bidding AMD? Oh yeah, I canceled them. That's how scared I was there. I'm waiting for 92 to come through here on AMD, but I guess we could put a bid back down here. There's a few levels that we like on some of these stocks, but there's no way I'm pushing money in at these current levels. I want the stocks to swing around a little bit. Look, owning DraftKings right now and AMC right here, small positions in the pre-market, and I mean, I can speak the same thing for Neil here. We're not trying to like hit home runs. We're just trying to position ourselves out, get into some names that we like, so that we can watch them. But for me, AMD, I will put on a big position down here here near that 92 bucks, and we'll get to it. But this is why 92 has held the last couple days, and it was a top there before breaking. Then it was the bottom. Then it was the bottom again yesterday. So I think we can try to test this AMD long here near 92. We're already into AMC, but man, what a move in the NAT. Like, look, there it goes again. It just took down another.
TLT.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can look at the
just
treasuries.
It just hit yesterday's low TLT.
I mean, UVXY is probably the one thing to trade today if you're looking at the VIX, but the NASDAQ just a leg lower right now. Nastiness, man. And there's that Apple trade. We wrote down Apple. Holy shoot. Down to 155 right now. We just missed it. We were at 158.40 trying to get short rate into here. It ripped up to that move on the number, and now you're tanking back to these lows. Apple's written on here as a sell for the sticky note today, but again, we're not in it yet. We got to wait for that, man. I was hoping to get short near 158. Could have had it. Now you're $3 lower, so yuck, man. This is scared already, man. Trust. This is going to be a nasty one, I feel like.
Just noticing the 10-year back to highs as well, back above 3.1% for the 10-year. So wild ride, potentially. Good time to get Arun in here to get a look at the overall market and understand what's important for today. Hey, we have things working, apparently, Arun, which is great. Tell us what we need to know for today.
All right, well, it does look like yesterday's sell-side action is going to continue. There was a slight buy-side move into the end, but then here we are coming into the towards the morning. We got the jobs report out. Nice little pop from 25 up to 50 and then back down. Here we are now sitting underneath 20, underneath 15 actually. So 41.15 is where we're trading. And the closest level I've got is a support bid at 40.90. But given the action you're getting that's carrying on from yesterday, I think you got to slow play this a little bit, wait a little bit to see whether that level can actually hold, whether there's going to be some bids that are going to be strong enough to actually pick up around these areas. We're in that territory. If we're going to catch a bid, we got to catch a bid somewhere from here going on down to 4,200 or 4,100. If we break that, 40.90 is probably going to go too. But so I'll keep an eye on this. If there's a long setup, there could be a trade against that 40.90. Of course, the preferable trade is going to be a pop. Given the direction we're heading and given the bias that we've got, I prefer a pop. And this is an aggressive move too, but I need a pop into 41.70 so I can fade that. That seems like asking a little too much of this market. But again, 50, 60 points doesn't seem to be much to ask for in these markets, in these kind of situations. But 41.70 up top allows you to then fade that all the way up to 42.15. That's kind of the gameplay up top if we actually ever get to those price points. But right now, given what we're trading, 41.15, 41.16 right now. If we can just kind of find a bid somewhere here, the long is probably the easier trade, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's ready. Again, biases to the sell side, right? So respect it until the bias is going to change a little bit. So if we can catch a bid, we can go for the long. NASDAQ down 0.83, ES down 0.63. So they're somewhat in line. Looks like it's not just complete tech runoff here. So they are somewhat in line, and then crude's up 1.22. So there is, the market seems somewhat balanced, at least today. When the way it's moving around, it's a little bit more balanced, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's over, right? So if we take 40.90, what happens? We've got 40.50 to the downside. That's your first checkpoint, not a major level, just a small checkpoint that we kind of bounced off of last time we were down here, and then below 40.50, 4,000 even. That's going to be the big one to watch. If we ever get down to that point, I think if we ever get below 40.50, I think 4,000 is going to be a magnetic level. We're just going to gravitate towards that, and that's not going to be a good time for a lot of people because of how big of a round number it is and how many stops are going to be waiting there.
Yeah, it seems like every uptick just getting sold at this point. Thank you, Arun. Have a great weekend. We'll check back in again on Monday. Just keeping my eye on the market, guys, kind of consolidating here. Let's jump into everything else we need to be aware of this morning. Heading towards the open, we're under a half an hour to go. Let's get into the watch list. Miss V will have that link for you in the chat if you do want that. DraftKings, top of the list. Hey, there's a few that are a bright spot, I guess, on a day when it looks pretty weak right across the board once again. But good report here, guys. Decent forecast for DKNG.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, I think the forecast was pretty good there. The numbers all better than expected. The number that I really liked, though, was the monthly unique payers increase, 29%. So I think that's pretty good. Whenever you get that going, and I think the draft, what I've been saying about sports books is that they're a dime a dozen. That's true. But at some point, you're going to stick with one of them. And maybe DraftKings, and we don't have this in Ontario, but I see there's a note there that's coming to Ontario right now. But I feel like you have FanDuel, you have DraftKings, there's Penn with Barstool, there's a few other names, Bet365, I mean, Will Hill. There's lots of names that are out there, but you know, if they're getting a 29% increase over paid users, I mean, that's really the key thing. They're giving it, look, cost of acquisition is huge in this business, right? They got the advertising is monstrous. You know, what they give you, you can deposit. And again, I don't know what DraftKings special is going to be when they come here, but like on FanDuel and some of these other places, they'll match like any deposit up to sometimes $1,000, for sure a couple hundred, or even just give you a free $200, things like that. They're not making money on that. But again, those are just like betting credits. So it's not like it's actually costing the money. You can't just open up an account and then take money out. So, you know, I see Parlay Prad tweeting things out now. I never even heard this. This guy didn't know anything about sports. Now all of a sudden gambling's involved.
There's a word for that. No,
yeah, it's addiction, I think. And it's just, no, but that's the whole point. They're in the right industry. Yeah. And what I'm getting at here is that they're bringing in new people into the business. So I think when you have that, people are getting frustrated with the stock market. I've been a sports gambler, honestly, how old am I? So 30 years. Like, you know, I can't even, I remember going to the convenience store with my grandfather, and I must have been around 10 years old, and we would bet on the Maple Leafs and bet on all these games here when you had to do it through the province here in Ontario. So look, this is an age-old business. Everybody knows about it. And if you look here at the 20-minute chart, I mean, I just wonder, hopefully it loads back a little bit there, you know, can we hold in and around here, this 1450? The number's not as bad as I thought it could be for DraftKings. So look, I'm not in this name in my own account. I'm long right now, but personally, maybe we'll buy it if it does come in a little bit here. I don't love the business, but I think that there are some reasons to buy this name, and we have some support right around here, 14.50. This is where I want to put on a much bigger position, and then if it drops below $14 today, then I'm going to get out because we may test again 13.50, 13. Maybe even 13 flat. So let's just see. This is a name that's loved by a lot of those beatdown ETFs, including ARK and whatnot. So maybe they come in today and buy this name. So we're going to dance with it a little bit. We're out of the money right now, a whopping 6 cents, and we'll just see what happens here moving forward. But I do have a bid down near 14.50 to test it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to play the periphery on this stock. So I'd go long, I think, down around that 14. And really, I'm looking like 13.90 just to give it some room on the bottom end. So that's where the stop would be. And I wouldn't go long until we get down around 14.25 or so. And for the other side of the trade, which at the time I was looking at this first, it was a little bit more in play than it is now at $15. But you know, if you had this $16 break, there is this little top wick and channel up to 16.25. So my thought was you break 16 or at least test those highs instead of giving it to 16. You give a short to about 16.30, which gives you some operating room, trap some longs, that kind of a thing. So it'll be in play, but it would have to now run $1 into the open for that to happen. So a little bit less likely than when I sat down. Still, if it gets there, I'll make the play. And I'm not sure it's really broken back out unless it gets above 16.25. Like that's what you can see on the 15-minute chart.
Or anyways, trying to. DoorDash, another, I mean, it's not overly exciting today, but notable earnings name here, up 1.5%. Just noticed that this 76, 75.5, 76 just got broken, which was that low if you go back on the daily chart. But good report, good forecast here for DoorDash as well.
Look, this is another name which has gotten beaten up. It's a good thing that you're going to talk about that you don't need, that you're not having to spend more for labor and incentives. And I think that's one thing that you saw from, you know, obviously Uber, Lyft. That was a big differentiator between their two reports there. And overall, it was a good report. But let's keep it real. You're losing money, and it's going to be that type of business. They're in that other bucket. So I am long here, but it's more of it's the levels that it's at. It's the fact that you have a chance to bounce off support in the market, so find something that had a pretty solid report and might have a catalyst behind it that's at a good entry point. And when you look at the double bottom that got made at 70 here, and then a little bit of a bounce, and I understand, we understand how we came into that double bottom, but I looked at Rivian at 30, and Dash yesterday, probably off 70 even, was an even better notion for a long, and then you see it hold up at 71. But I do want to take two swings at this. If we're just going to crash into 70, I don't want to be long 74 and then hold it all the way through. If it gets through 73, which was this higher low consolidation, essentially where it failed on the first pullback, then I'll get out of it and then look to re-engage at 70 even. But you know, there's some pretty significant levels that you play. To me, I'll play in either direction because that's the style of trade. I'm going to get into this one. I'm already into this one. If we break 73, I'll look at 70. That's a pretty good floor, especially when it's a decent earnings report. But Dash, not a ton of pre-market volume, but for Dash, this is actually a lot.
All right, so all this talk here, as we've been talking in the chat here, we're all talking about BBIG here because I've just been told that I need to go long, so we're going to go long right now on BBIG. It does have a bottom, you know, and again, I don't know if we'll take out this bottom right now. I'm not long a lot of shares right here. I'd rather sort of see it open up, and then if we rip, then maybe we just punch, you know, like a Hail Mary long through this 360, something like that. Obviously, we talked about it. May 18th now is the record date for dividend of the common stock for TYDE there, Cryptide, to be distributed to holders of Inco Venture shares. So we'll see. It's a nice little move up here on the 20-minute chart. If you look, I mean, again, though, I don't know what tide exactly, like where's that going to go right now? Crypto isn't necessarily, and I don't know anything about the business, obviously, so I shouldn't say too much here, but that's not super exciting. But hey, we're going to trade where there's action, and right now 12 million shares. I don't know if that leads the pre-market. Don't remember the last time something was that low leading the pre-market, which is a little bit of a problem here. But again, we're at not just that, and I know we're skipping down. This is on the watch list if you're joining us. It's at the bottom of the watch list right now. But I just because so many people are looking at it, and it's already 9:10. You know, you're into this area right there. That's why 360 is pretty interesting. Because even before all this talk about the date and all this, you know, we've already had this little level before over and over again. So I think if you could get into here, like if we go long now, which we are, and you're something like, yeah, we just got filled again at 33 there. So now we'll wait to see. But, you know, I think a test of 380 might come into play today. So wait for that. Again, we need retail to step in here. That probably happens at 3 o'clock, at 3 o'clock. I'm looking at the price, at 9:30. So until then, we'd probably drip down. I don't know if we'll hold this through $3, but right now it's coming back in a little bit. And you know what? It could be a short off this $4, the same way it's a long. So, you know, just be careful with that. And then there's $3. These little dip down areas, $3. So if you break 3, we can get out of this name. But for right now, we're long BBIG, and I'm sure we'll have lots to say about this one.
The short interest aspect on that as well. Remember, about 15% on the short side for the float on BBIG. Lucid, we were kind of wondering what was going to be the outcome of the Lucid earnings report. I mean, obviously, they're not even producing anything yet, so not a lot in the way of earnings, but they did say that they're still on track to produce 12,000 to 14,000 vehicles for the year, which is in line with their prior forecast. So at least a positive note there for Lucid.
Yeah, and the car, it's so cheap, the car. But look, that's tongue in cheek.
Yeah, they raised it, right?
Yeah, they did raise the prices. But again, like everyone's having to raise their prices. I think that's, at this point, you're not really getting dinged for that. It was the way.
The good thing was they're honoring the reservations.
Well, that's the difference. When the raising pricing for Rivian was the way that it happened, and for people that had already made reservations. People understand you pay for a new car now. You're gonna pay through the nose. But Lucid, it was trying to break out. I know we tried to take that break several times, and it had a few good runs in it. But you know, it's been going the other way, at least obviously since yesterday. And when I look at the channel that it tried to break, and this was that 1950, we got above, and then yesterday happened, and then you just slam right back below it. And when I see this, it's like reestablish that high. It's almost as if that never happened because you have a late day rally on the Fed, and then we completely reject that entire breakout from 1950. So it's a short in front of 1950. You know, just sort of play with the levels that are there for you, and this is one that's there. So I'm on the offer. If we get any kind of a spike, 19 to 19 quarter, that's where I want to be getting into it. But 1950 is the hard stop on Lucid for the short side of the trade. And it has probably more to do with the level, I think, than it does sometimes with the report. It was mixed enough that I kind of feel like if we had been on the 1750 bottom, I might be telling you how I'm just going to play along off 1750. But not a ton of pre-market volume, but that 1950 has to be respected for me at least.
Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about was just that level. Yesterday we went, I mean, my trades aren't showing up, but we had a great trade in the I was going to say the aftermarket, but it was right near the end of the day there when we went long off that bottom of 1835 and able to get it out here around 1880. We got out on the way up, of course, but we did hold, I think it was 25% or so for that level. So I would just say, you know, you're looking at that down here at 1834. I still look at it, man, and I think like, 108,000 or whatever it is for their base model, and then you start adding stuff up on that and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know, if the consumer's not very strong, we'll see about this with Under Armour and a couple different names here that's on our watch list as well. But if the consumer ain't strong, man, no one's, I don't want to say nobody, people buy cars, but I mean, honestly, I think this is really expensive. And if you're going to be looking at something at the higher end, then sure, maybe Lucid is the car for you. But remember, Ford's coming, GM is coming, all these other names, Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, all these names are busting out with new electric vehicles that are going to be priced like a third of that price. Sure, the quality's not going to be there, but I just wonder, you know, when you're only producing, like they're on track to produce 12 to 14,000 vehicles. Like really? Like there's that many people that live in the building right behind us. So I mean, I just wonder if that's going to be enough. Like, you know, with this rate environment right now, raising rates, do you really want to park your money in a company that's really not even off the bottoms yet? Like they haven't even produced anything. 12 to 14,000 cars is crazy, let alone if they run into any problems. So yeah, I like the short in Lucid, but right now there's just no action giving me a reason to trade this. So, but we always have a reason to go to Miss V. So what's up?
Hey guys, welcome everyone who just joined us. Around 15 minutes left until the open, and I remind you to like this video. Please, let's get that traditional 1,000 likes before the bell. And now let's continue with Brandon.
Yeah, a few more to get through here, guys. SIDU just popping up, which is a space, speaking of Virgin this morning, SIDU, another space company, up on a deal. It's a development deal with another company. So heads up on this one, just went from $2 up to $3 for SIDU. Let's talk Block or Square, whatever you want to call it. Operating profit for Square, so a decent report for Square right across the board. But the crypto side of this is going to weigh a little bit if you're looking at SQ today.
Yeah, that's another nothing burger. And I apologize, I'm chuckling because SIDU, there's like a good friend of ours after a fun weekend spent the night in the tank and made a good friend named Sidhu. Like, so among our high school friends, allegedly, there's like this legend of Sidhu among our friends because the guy was he was a regular in the drunk tank. I won't say what city because maybe it's a real person. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, because that guy's going to be watching right now.
No, I know. It's the second I saw that ticker, I'm like, oh my God, Sidhu. But Block. This is another name here. If you had told me yesterday that Block would report one way or the other and we'd only be up or down 4 or 5%, I'm shocked. I thought this would be double digits regardless of the direction, especially with the attachment to crypto that they have. And there is a line, and you can kind of see it in the middle here. If you look at this 102 on Block, it was a low going into a couple of weeks ago. And then every time we break it, we run. Every time we hold it, it fades from here. You can sort of see it's got this nice little natural pivot at about 102 to 102.5. So below that price, it's a fade. Above that price, it's long. It's just you're respecting this level and running away from it. So I don't like, if you go long as say 100, right? Like you could turn around on a dime at that 102.50. It does give you some room to run, but I'd rather play a level like that, fading off of it. If we see that double bottom from 94, much like we talked about here with with DoorDash, you know, it can be worth it to try along off of a level like that when it's that strong. But overall, I'd rather just play off of this 102.50 on Block for now, which does mean right now it's setting up for a pop and fade. That'd be like a short 101 or so. Give it to 102.50.
Yeah, I didn't even look at Sidhu or anything. Yeah, I don't think I can because I'll be cracking up every time that does happen. BBIG back into the money now slightly. We're going to wait to see where this goes. I do have an offer to get out near 350s, just like 10%, and then I am up here near the day's high. So actually, I'm not. I'm at 370, thinking that if we break 360, then we get higher. So that's going to be a number to look at right there. Quick check in on the imbalance locator. Ooh, there's your Fubo right there one more time. It's getting a little bit bigger there. 400,000 shares as this name just continues its march to the downside. You know, getting cut by a quarter there, losing a quarter of its value. I mean, Fubo done for right now. Definitely going to have to pay for short. I shouldn't say definitely. I mean, maybe you have to pay for shorts
Oh,
on this name right now. Twitter also right here with the sell back up to $50. I say you leave Twitter alone because unless you're just trying to scalp some of these bottoms and tops, like play ranges, Twitter right now kind of just doing its own thing. I believe it gets done at 54.20 without any issues. So I just wanted to quickly go over that. Our watch list is still ready to rock and roll. There's TDOC as well on a buy side. So hey, the NASDAQ, although I was commenting there and Alan on the chat was like, hey man, these ranges are still intact. Yeah, what I was getting at here on this drop down was just like how fast this just went to the downside there. Like we retraced the whole move there in just a matter of minutes. And you don't normally see this kind of, dramatic move like that at 9 o'clock or whatever time that happened there. So there it is to the downside. Now you're retracing back up. And so you're right, Alan, like we haven't violated any levels. We had a rune come on. So I'm not worried about it. It's just that was a big move to the downside, scaring me because, hey, the market's not even open and there's already no bids on the NASDAQ. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem for me. So that was just the talk there about why I was temporarily scared of any kind of a move there on the NASDAQ. But hey, my levels are still going to be true. We still have Apple on the watch. We have AMC, DraftKings, BBIG. I mean, I'm in 3 positions now. I can't see Neil's in 3 positions now as well, or 2 positions. You'll see it on the board in a minute, but should be a good open here with only 10 minutes to go.
Go back to the EV space here quickly. NIO, monster move to the downside with the overall market yesterday. I mean, they just confirmed their Singapore listing that came out a month or 2 ago. Or the story itself came out a month or 2 ago, but they confirmed it will happen, and they confirmed at what price it will happen. So, I mean, hey, NIO's positive today.
I mean, yeah, but, and there's always a but with these, right? Like it's up 1% because of how weak it was yesterday. Like it was too late in the day when I realized that XPeng and NIO were doing what they're doing because I was looking at Rivian and Lucid. And I don't mind because like one of Sean's best trades was on Lucid and one of my best trades was on yesterday was on Rivian. So that's okay. But wow, not going to lose sight of NIO ever again. Ridiculous. Oh, I can't get locates of Sidhu. I tried now twice. But we've broken this 1590, and I had that written down for a while because through that 1590 on the daily chart, you just have the March low, which is all the way at $13, which is kind of crazy. It's like you want to tell me that NIO, yeah, I mean whatever. Like if we break down from here, you've got so much room to the downside. I just got into square and a little bit of a pop into that 102.50, so I got 101s. Now I have 4 positions on. But if we get back through this they call it 16-16 quarter, through that 1590 area, through 16, like this has so much room to go. If you're talking about something with a lot of room to run here, and let's be real, like you do have the opportunity if they get delisted. It's not as if your shares go into the ether. If they list somewhere else, you have to. Obviously, there's currency issues, but you do have the ability to roll into the other issue. And it's not always the end of the world if you believe it's a viable business. I won't name any names, but I know at least a couple of people who believe in a couple of U.S.-listed Chinese names enough to say, yeah, if it goes to Hong Kong or Singapore, then I have no trouble holding on to it because I believe in the business. But that's a level that has to be respected. When you break channels like this, if you hold below, we should flush. And the bottom is 14. If it can't break back above the 16 level. So I'm going to be a fader, but if this holds a bid, like if we're sitting above here at 16.25 and there's a consolidation, at that point it completely invalidates that breakdown short. And yeah, you could be jailbreaking. So you cannot do this without a bit of an out. 16.25 has to be a hard stop for me, but I'm shorting the pop here. And I did just get into square. So we're saying this could be a bit of a boring morning. Well, I shouldn't have said that. It was a low volume morning, but there's lots of opportunities within these ranges. So that 102.50, I'm fading it on square. I'm now too long, too short. We'll see what happens, but still plenty of time actually till the open, about 7 minutes or so. And yeah, things starting to get spicy, even though we haven't broken the range.
Do we have to pay for shorts on BBIG?
Vinco, yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do it right now then. Yeah, I wasn't sure. So I am long BBIG right now, but I did have to pay for them. I just want to give, I ran into Greg back there, and I was like, let's go, man. It's golf day. Like, getting pumped up already for this one. And he asked about the weather, and I said it's supposed to be 14, but then I was like, hey man, even if it's -10 at this point, honestly, like I'm down to go. I won't be able to feel my hands or anything like that, but I'm sure the beer will be kept cold. And then I also want to give a big shout out. Those of you may know, if you've watched the midday show, I don't think Brandon's ever been on our show. I would say no, but
I don't think so.
He's recently been demoted to office assistant manager there. So him and Greg managing the floor behind us. So a big congratulations
Dwight
there.
Schrute?
Yeah, exactly. Big congratulations to Dwight, aka Brandon over there. Now assistant manager of the Toronto trading floor. So congratulations to Brandon. You guys might have seen him on the midday show. So basically, as you see with Prad and now you see with Brandon, we basically promote anybody. So let's go over there to the big screen right now with Brandon.
Be some confusion there, guys. It's not me. It's another Brandon. So just to clarify, SIDU, Neil and Sean's friend, $8 is this support level. Below that, there's a pivot at 6, and then there's room to 450 as far as I can tell. So I mean, there isn't even a red candle yet on a 3-minute chart. So watch 450 as a first, to steal a word from Rune. Checkpoint 450, guys, for SIDU.
You say checkpoint? Ooh, I like this. I like that checkpoint thing. Just a clarification, like Sidhu is not my friend, man. I've never been in a drunk tank.
He's
so
typically I don't think he's anybody's friend per se.
Well, I don't know, man. If somebody says see you next week when they leave the drunk tank, then they consider you a friend.
See you next
That was exactly what happened. Like as he's getting picked, I'm not naming names. As he's getting picked up, because obviously you got to get a ride from the drunk tank because you don't get there yourself. Sidhu goes to him, hey man, see you next week.
Yeah, wow.
Like imagine, like Sidhu was living the life.
I don't know what that says about our friend, though.
I don't know either, but I want to just wait
a
quick second on Vinco because you mentioned that $4. So the only two levels that I'm looking at eventually, obviously $3 if it comes down, but $3.50 and $4 on the daily chart are pretty significant for BBIG here. And we did have to pay for locates, but it already put in one wick top, so it tried to break $3.50. I was saying let's wait off to see how it does above that price. It then did another failure at that point. So I'm always, this is a trade that's pretty much always going to happen. Like if it pops in here and doesn't break the high off the open, I'll look to fade up that top. But that's a hard stop at 360, right? Like it's trying to short there and lose no more than 10 to 15 cents. And even then, I don't want to lose quite that much. Like I said, I got into Dash in addition to the open door, and I didn't get to Virgin Galactic. Well, I mean, I kind of briefly talked about it, but I'm shorting back into these previous lows from yesterday, and you can see in the aftermarket it had a floor at 740. My average price when we get to that would be about 7.25. So the risk to reward works fine for me, but I didn't want to miss out on this. It's kind of like the General Electric. Like I wanted to be sitting in something in case this just flushes. I don't want it to flush without me, but I've seen this squeeze on me before. Whenever I think Virgin Galactic should go down is when it decides it doesn't want to go down. But either way, I got to short that rapport. You can't delay till next year. Again, they've been delaying, and it's now, if you look at, I mean, if you pile them up, it's like over a year's worth of delays, which, at some point, you should be at the all-time low. Ooh, wow.
Have I ever traded something just because rebates? Yeah, I mean, rebate trading is something that people do all the time. Shout out to Mike. But I mean, it's a hard game to play, so we don't really do that. But I mean, yeah, there are strategies about that. So for rebate trading. But yeah, no, I'm just it is a big congratulations to Brandon over there. And look, that's what it's all about, man. It's about giving opportunity. He deserves it. The guy's in here every single day. So shout out to Brandon, and you guys know him from the midday show. So again, opportunities abound here at Day Trade the World. So thanks for that. And yeah, Brandon, good little promotion there. So we're happy for him there. And it's Brandon there, Brendan there.
Yeah,
so,
don't get it confused.
Yeah, just in case everybody was wondering about that, but a big congratulations one more time. Yeah, oh, that's right. Brad calls him Brankles. I don't really know why. Is that his last name?
It's his trader ID.
Oh, it's his trader.
Yeah, so,
okay, well, we know all about trader IDs.
Oh my God, I got Peloton
and Nairobi and all this kind of stuff. So
yeah,
all right.
Sean and Shikadi.
Yeah, let's get going here. All right. So just as we go, I wanted to take a quick check in on Apple here because this is a name that I want to fade, but again, it's not really near any levels yet. Maybe we look at 157 instead of 158, but I'd rather this open up and give us a quick look at that. Microsoft, how low can you go, Mr. Softy, man? You get near that 270 level, man. Your boy will be sitting there with a big fat fat, juicy bid waiting to get filled down there near 270. So if we can get down there on this name, we like that. Here is it's right here, 270. So if that comes in, we're going to watch it. But right now, it looks like we're going to go 3 for 3 here. DraftKings right now starting to get back up to the upside. Who knows, man? The market's going to open up and we'll see where we go. But DraftKings now nicely done up to 15.20. Let's see if it gets there. BBIG, we're long on that name, trying to go as well. And then AMC right now, a dime in the money. So maybe the market floats up and we're able to get out of some of these names as it starts. Here's the imbalance locator, and unfortunately the NASDAQ did not come and save the day at all. I still don't see many offerings here that we'll be trading today. Maybe Fubo. I know Neil's in space, but 100,000 shares to sells, nothing. Alibaba, maybe T-Doc, but right now not much on there. There's Nike with the sell. So some names we'll be looking at, probably not on the imbalance locator.
So Peloton I just got into as I wanted to short the pop there as well in front of like a 17 and a quarter area. They are looking to get a minority stakeholder. They're now searching for one. So, I mean, Amazon could be a possibility. I'm just bandying about some names there. But Square is now falling back through 99. I did want to get more in a pop and fade. That will be something I'm looking for at the open. In addition to Vinco Ventures, if we can try and take that top. DoorDash stopped me out, and I got some profit on Square. So that's kind of a wash. Miss V is on the bell. She's in the all black. Hopefully black is the new green and we can get a bit of a recovery day for Friday. Instead of that, Prad's free fall Friday, which I understand he coined it, but we don't need that today.
No, I don't like that.
We don't need it, but 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and ring it, Miss V. Ooh,
We had AMD, we had AMC. All right, we'll let AMC and AMD open up here a little bit here, or AMC open up, but we'll watch. Oh, AMD did make a nice little move back upside. AMD's actually positive today, so maybe this is a name that we could watch out for. There goes AMC, by the way, up to 1470, so a nice little win here to start the day. We got to get something out, though, for it to call it a win. We're waiting at 1477. AMC right now, 1468.
Oh, my goodness, there goes. Yes, wow, Square just dropped to 98. That's flushing. So much for the pop and fade. Square's now, give me a break. It's like 4 in the money. Usually what happens here is you're going to get one of those little spikes. The market's not falling. I'm not looking to give horse in the mouth. The market actually bounced a bit. I'm seeing a few names go up. So if I'm going to instantly get $4 on Square, I'll go back to short that pop if I get an opportunity at it, because that was absolutely insane and almost free money. Vinco Ventures, which is not doing what I thought it was going to do. I thought it was going to get buyers almost immediately, to retest that 350 area. You're not seeing that happen, but if it takes out 340, I'm still looking to fade it here. Just want 45s to that 50 range. And I didn't go over Tesla. Apologies to you guys. It made a spike, broke 880, just reversed at 890, looking pretty strong so far. Up on the day as the market's trying to bounce here. So initial indication is that Tesla is strong. Peloton, I got some of the roll, so it popped at the open, tried to take out 17. I got the second leg in at 1675, and on its way to an all-time low, I probably just jinxed it, is Virgin Galactic.
Yep. All right, good move there on Virgin Galactic for sure. Okay, so nothing's really happening. We did get DraftKings. We took it there. It went to the downside. Now there it goes, man. It keeps going down. Like I talked negatively about this stock, and yet here I am going long on it. So we took a little bit out when it took through 1450 there. But, now we'll have to wait for that 1380 bottom. I'm not touching this name again until we get down here to something a little more juicy for me on that one. What is the market doing right now? It's kind of flattish, but it is starting to make a move upside. So maybe we'll get in here. Ooh, Apple. I mean, a lot of these names straight fire right now to the upside on this NASDAQ move. So, hey, maybe there is going to be something here. Where did Apple just get to, though? 157.20 or so? Yeah, I'd like to see it still up here, man, 158. So we get a little bit of a rip upside there. We'll take that for Apple. But I am also debating a punch short through this 156 VWAP level here, 156.30 in case this is a horrible day. So let's watch out for that trade as well. 156.30 short on Apple if we could take it, but it's not really moving the way I like right now, although the market is coming to the downside right here.
Sidhu is just
pumping, Sidhu?
It's going to 4. I shouldn't say pumping when it's a drunk tank show. But $4, it just broke $4 3 times, got to 408 here, and you can see this little bit of a pullback. Oh, I just remembered.
BBIG
I don't have any
downside.
locates. Yeah, never mind. Oh, I just got excited a second because it did the fail break at 408. I'm like, oh, that's a short off of this because it's triple top. Well, on a 3-minute chart, it's a triple top. But I would take this consolidation short, but I don't have any locates. So I'll double check to see if we have any, but unfortunately, not going to be able to make that trade. Here comes Peloton as well. Ooh, is it going to be one of those ones again? Yeah, so Peloton now down at 16. Our last entry was up here at about 1685, looking like it's trying to take out the low. Virgin Galactic still at 680. It was 670, I said, was the all-time low in Virgin Galactic. And look at Tesla, the reversal. It was strong a second ago. Now it's rejecting again. I'm in 2 shorts. I couldn't get the third that I wanted. And yeah, it looks like that's how we're going to start the day once more. I should be happy because they're in the money, but I kind of thought we had a chance at a bounce today.
Yeah, I'm not overly upset with things. We are now short AMD. Would much rather like a higher bid here. So if we can get AMD just off that wick top of 95, I mean, it's giving us the out if we need it. So 95 will be our out on any shorts here. But we are now short this name right now, AMD. The market is absolutely tanking. So I feel half decent about that one. What's up, Brendan?
DoorDash, guys, absolutely flushed at the open there from 73 right through 66, now down almost 10% as the market makes day lows, as you said.
Lucky enough, I don't know if it's luck or not, but we just got a wicked bid there on AMC to the downside. What happened to you?
I'm like, no. So what didn't happen?
Okay, what didn't happen to you?
Like imagine you don't put a stop in situations like this, right? Like 74, stop at 73. DoorDash is at 65.
Yeah,
this is why we literally did a video yesterday, and Brennan threw in there, use stop orders in a bear market. If you like long bounces, you've got to make sure you have a stop in, because if you miss that stop, it's not so much how far it can go down. It's like, what if you don't notice it because you're trading other names? You get absolutely destroyed. At this point, it looks like we're falling in here. All I can do is hold on. Like, I missed a Tesla move. I missed a pop and fit. I got out of square. I was like, there's strength and some names are bouncing here. I'm going to be able to short a pop in block. Nope. We're going straight southbound here. Thankfully, in this market, if Virgin Galactic does not break its all-time low, I'll drop and give you 20. There is no way that stock can hold and not break the all-time low. I'm telling you, it absolutely has to happen. Usually I get screwed because when I think this stock is going down, it gets squeezed to the upside. Ain't nobody squeezing this thing today, not in this market.
Okay, no, I don't think anything's going to be happening today unless you're short. Look at AMD right now. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Spin the money around on this one, as this is a big trade for me here. As we went short on AMD, and now we can hold this one. Look at open. I mean, maybe we're flashing again down here, man. Maybe there is some kind of a flash happening right now. So we'll just watch out. This market is definitely fading out down to the downside now. Fubo, everything tanking. What's going on with Apple right now? 155, shoot. We just talked about that at 157. Looking for that short as well. Where is Mr. Softy going to? I mean, it's coming to the downside right now. Pretty good. DraftKings can't find bids either.
Well, Peloton's that's to the downside. Even? Oh my goodness.
Everything, man. All this. Oh man, wow. The shitty names just keep getting shittier today as we're making some more moves to the downside.
They're selling all the junk right now.
Yeah, we're getting out of
selling all the junk.
Yeah, we're getting out of DraftKings on a breakthrough 14, guys. Watch out here.
You know what? I was like, do I have any bids out there? And I looked over and I was like, yeah, there was still one stock that I had a bid on. And it was, now it won't even load up. I can't even bring Micron up for you. Because Micron had that $70 level on Micron. That's being tested right now. I got to stop just below it at about $69.90. But it's a good valuation, Micron at least. But Brendo?
Guys, just heads up on NVIDIA, possible SEC rumors floating around for NVDA.
What about SEC?
Whoa, what?
NVDA. Okay, well, we are already short AMD, and that's Tank City. I mean, yeah, NVIDIA's tanking right now, but I mean, I look at the market and feel like it's like, no duh. I mean, look at NVIDIA right there. I mean, I guess that's did it just gap down there, I guess, on that? Yeah, NVIDIA Tank City right now. I don't know, like, what the hell are they investigating?
Did it break 181 yet?
You guys know what's going on right now. And I trade, okay, we just got out of DraftKings there. But you guys know the way we trade, man, and there goes DraftKings, and how much we love to short these tech names. So look at this, man, AMD, see you later. No idea about this story. I'm not getting out at all out of this AMD trade right now as it's coming back in. I mean, I say that, but we are coming down. I got to cancel my 92 bid then as we're coming back in here because, yeah, I don't know where this is going. I may put a bid down here at 92.60 because we just touched it, but there it is, man. NVIDIA falling down, as goes AMD as well.
Yeah, and all you can do is, like, just fire them up because if you got the shorts, they're working. And as long as you put stops in, right? Like, you saw me get stopped out buying the dip in Dash and Open Door, and each one of those, like, any one of those could have shut you down. Open Door halted to the downside. halted. And by the way, Tesla just turned off of 850. And the one long I had was Micron. There were so many things to look at today that I do apologize because I did mean to go over Micron. And I was looking at anything that broke a bottom channel, held support. This is your level, 69.80 down here. So I went long in front of 70 with a 69.80 stop. And when that news dropped on NVIDIA, you saw a bigger flush start to come in a name that wasn't necessarily dying, and that was Micron. And I still have to I still have to figure out what that story is because I don't think I haven't had a chance to read it.
Inadequate disclosures about their crypto mining.
Okay, whatever. So I'm going to take some profit on this.
I don't even know what that
here
means, bro.
On the way to 70.50 because I don't feel like digging into if a long worked out for you off these levels, I'm going to take the profit and run if I get the chance. Brendo?
So it looks like a $5.5 million penalty, guys. A few other things coming through. So this is, it's $5.5 million, so not that much. As again, this is going back to disclosures on crypto mining profits.
Okay, so $5 million. I want to go long now. That's like
$5 million to
what?
NVIDIA. They probably spend that much on toilet paper at the office.
Not just that.
No, I'm joking. That's obviously not true. Maybe they got good
that's
double
not
ply.
far from being
triple ply.
That's not far from being not the truth. I don't know how many employees they have. Anyways, yeah, so here we go. We actually have a new position as well. We'll go Facebook. Whoa. We are short Facebook right now, 205. We just got a bid down there at 204.30 for Facebook. I think, and again, we're not going to hold these names for very long. If this takes out 206 right there, then we can get out of Facebook. And it may just do that on a nice little move back to the upside right here. So we're watching out for that name to come through. And right now, Facebook, basically 207, I guess we can give it up to right around there. We've already traveled pretty high today, so next average in around here, 206, and then we'll see if it takes down 207. But right now we're short Facebook. We're short $1 in the money right now. BBIG has really cracked the bed here to the downside.
If Amazon wanted to buy Peloton, they should just start doing it now.
Maybe they will, bro.
It's at $15.50. Peloton is this is ridiculous. It's almost down 10% here. And the news was that, they're shopping themselves, or at least a portion of themselves. And the market ain't liking it. The market's not liking a heck of a lot today for garbage, Brendo.
Shopify, another day, another tumble for Shop as well, down 10%, or was at one point. Number of downgrades, price target cuts. The analyst treatment today for Shopify.
Remember we were talking about all the names from yesterday that were so weak, whether it's eBay, whether it's Twilio. You just said Shopify there as well. These are probably getting absolutely hammered. Yeah, Twilio down 5%. Again, look at the flush off the open. This is always stick to, if you know what the trend is, try to stick to those types of names. And I guess I will not be getting my calisthenics in on the show because there it is. Did I jinx it?
Did you what?
No. Right through 666. Virgin Galactic is at an all-time low. It had to happen.
Look at Under Armour.
I don't even want to look at Under Armour. It's probably like a jillion to the downside, but it's one of those mornings. And Fubo, which we kind of said might be a nothing burger based on the volume, that also cratering through $3 at this point. Brendo?
Just be aware if you're trading or watching Under Armour, guys. Looks like the call is on right now. So a whole bunch of comments just coming through for UAA.
All right, we are. I was just noticing UAA. What I thought? Oh man, I put a bid at 06. I guess we never got that. Down here for AMC, although the bottom's 14.01, it almost broke 14. We almost got out of AMC, so we may still have a problem here. I'm trying to buy a little bit more. I mean, if we're trying to buy AMC down here at 06, we might as well buy it right now. But here's a nice little move to the downside for AMC, and it looks like that party's just getting started now. We either take down that 14 or whatever on this name, but that's going to be an out for me if that does come through right now. BBIG, we talked a little bit about that. That just keeps on getting faded. I mean, you guys convinced me to get into this. I'm obviously responsible for it, but here it comes right back down to the downside. We're going to get out if this breaks through 3, like we mentioned. So BBIG right now getting nasty a little bit.
Yeah, getting a little nasty. Even the market just tried to bounce there. Rightfully pointing out by a lot of you guys that you had a bit of a bounce there in Bitcoin, but it's still below what was the channel. That last channel yesterday, we had the 35.5, so still below that on the channel. The only long I have is Micron, and I'm thinking to myself, if it even gets back to 70.50, I should be thinking about taking this if it tries to put in any kind of a turn, or at least taking, you know what? That's what the difference. Taking some out here. If I took some at quarters, I'll take some at 50, and if Micron can hold up, then that's fine. Tesla, by the way, just made a nice little bottom. At the 850 turn was absolutely gorgeous just down there, but that's not the name that I was looking at, unfortunately.
Whoops.
I kind of thought it would get down to like 844 or so, but it broke by $2. It breaks by a couple of more bucks and reclaims, and I probably would have taken that long. You're getting a little bounce in the market, but I'm not believing it yet. Block, just continues to flush. So, I didn't put Block in the category of Peloton and Virgin Galactic today.
Right.
There's just no way. There's no way I would have thought that Block was going to do this. I can see Peloton doing that. I can see Virgin Galactic doing this. Block all the way to $90 there was a little bit of a surprise, even though we had the short, Brendo.
I feel like this was a rumor going back a month or so ago, but Vale, which is VALE in New York, if you want to trade it in Brazil, it's VAL3 or something like that. I'll check. Anyways, deal with Tesla, guys. They're going to apparently supply nickel to Tesla.
Okay. Who is? Oh, Vale, okay. Look at Facebook, man. We just reloaded that into that 206, man. That's what we wanted. And now we're $1. We just got that 205.89, 205.90. It just ticked down to 204 flat, or 205 flat, 204.70 right now. $1 in the money. We are Tank City right now in this name. So that's going to be a good one for us. Why am I not out of AMC yet? We should be very, very soon getting out of this name, as there goes AMC to the downside. We are gone out of that one. That does not work. Wow, AMC faded out today. It got a nice couple outs early, but then now AMC back down into the trash can. We're still long a little bit, but we're going to try to respect that bottom. If it takes down 1396 one more time, then we're gone officially out of AMC. So that long. It's funny because the shorts, look at this, man. We are monstrous right now on Facebook, guys. I don't know why this one collapsed the way it did. Let's see if we can get, I just put a bid there, missed it. We're on 11s. Give me those 11s, baby. There we got them. We got them right there on Facebook. So a nice little $1.80 win right now for Facebook. So too bad we had DraftKings and AMC today. Other than that, man, we're cruising.
Yeah, and we know what's cruising. Sidhu is cruising. Got to 450, which on the daily is a bit of a thing. I think is a bigger level upcoming if it gets through this. At $6, the monster level, but 450, a bit of a level. It just got to 449 and then pulled back in here. So you know the setup. I just grabbed 30s to the short. I never even got the rest of this fill, so I'm going to take some in the 20s and see if we can't get a nice little consolidation, play back into 390 to 4 even on SIDU, which we call Sidhu around here. Vinco's at $3. We'll see if it can hold that $3 level. But man, Square's about to hit a 90. I cannot believe I missed 30 on Rivian. I was determined not to miss Rivian today at $30. And then look at it. Just everything happens so fast, obvious. I think we all saw how the market came into the downside. So if you're sitting in a short, we talked about that in Peloton and Virgin Galactic, that you almost had to be in it to make sure you didn't miss the flush. But wow, Rivian, $29. I can only imagine where Lucid is right now. Brendo?
Just further on the NVIDIA thing, guys, this is already settled. So it's not a new thing, apparently. So the SEC now saying this is already settled. So they've already even paid this small fine, guys.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm not.
$5 million.
When I heard $5 million, I mean, if that was started with, if it was a B at the end of that,
exactly.
Then I'd be like, okay. But right now, okay. Just an update here. I don't know. Like I said, man, Facebook is falling here. Let's see if we can find a target somewhere, like maybe right here, 202.50. Bottom there, 190. I mean, that's 200. I mean, I can't believe we're back down to 200 already. We were just at 225 yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I bought Facebook. That was a good buy. Yeah, down another 2% today. The market is. So look at Facebook just falling off the Facebook of the earth. Again, just down. No real stops in sight for me for this name. It's $1.50 now. I don't know. I mean, I know you've had a bunch of shorts as well today that have
Peloton's
worked out
about to break $15
for us. Wow. Yeah. So here's Facebook coming back in again right now. Let's just have. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing here. So. I don't know if we can get some more bids at these lows. Let's just take them, man. We're just sizing these out. Wow, what a good move for AMD to the downside. And now Facebook's accelerating, trying to break this 04. If we do, man, I mean, see you later. But let's put a bid just in case we don't. There it goes. Let's take another. There it is. We're out at 4 there again. And there it goes, trying to take out 204. Big win for us on Facebook, man. There's the reload even as well. In reloaded. We can check out on Apple. Yeah, wow, 154 again. Almost time to buy this thing again down here near 150 one more time, guys. Apple to the downside. Wow.
So I'm going to do it, and we'll go case closed on Peloton. Peloton's at $15. I'm taking 15. We can get it. I'll hold on to Virgin Galactic because I mean, in some ways, I feel like that could get to $6 ultimately, but Peloton just an absolute rocket ship to the downside.
Tesla, oh my
Tesla
God.
just retook or retested that low of the day. The only thing I can see that's screaming to the upside is Sidhu. Like Sidhu is about to stop me out at 450 on the 35 short, so that one going gangbusters. And remember, I didn't even have locates of that, which is kind of crazy. Like we didn't have locates, and I tried like 3 times. I finally get locates when it's here, which could be a sign. And it's trying to break out that 450 level. If it holds here, great, obviously. But if we get taken out, there's not much you can do about it. Just got to be able to eat it. Tesla, if it holds here, and again, usually you want like a couple of legs of confirmation in a market like this. It's now put in a couple of wick bottoms through this 850 level. However, I'm looking over at our old UVXY, and if you see signs of it turning, I don't. And I said, and Dominic, you're right. Dominic reminded me to trade this thing, and I'm looking at that clean technical break here through the high of the day that I didn't take as I was looking at these shorts. A bit frustrating because a lot of fish to fry there, and Sidhu's starting to come back down now, so I will take some profit. But man, if Tesla can manage to hold, great. But yesterday, I traded it on a bounce without a turn in volatility and lost. And when volatility made a bit of a crest and a turn, that's when the long won. So I am not going long Tesla in this dump to try to catch a bottom unless I can see an actual curl or resistance in UVXY. That's my condition for it. That's what worked yesterday, and that's the only thing I'll do for a long in Tesla. And if I miss it, I miss it. I almost don't care. It's got to fit your setup. Come on, Sidhu. I just got some out in front of 420. I'm going to try to get some more out in front of $4, $4.11, and then $4.10, $4, and then $3.90. Sidhu very, very strong still. So got to be taking profit when it gives you these flushes.
All right, yeah, I just did the same thing there. We didn't get the best out. We got 204.30 or so on Facebook. We're still going to hold this for some more downside moves right now in this market. But I'm trying to find some more names for you guys. Let's go back into DraftKings where we were long early. Look at how disgusting DraftKings is. And this is part of it, man. It's like we're going to make mistakes all the time, but part of it is getting the heck out of Dodge when this mistake happens. DraftKings right now to all-time low of 13 right there. We're about to crack lower on DraftKings, all-time low off what I don't want to say I thought was a good report. Looked at it, thought it was, but there it is to the downside right now. Maybe this is something that on a little bit of a rebound, we can test it. Let's try DraftKings long right here against that bottom. We break 13, we're gone. Well worth the risk right now, I feel like. But, we could test it. I mean, go long now, it's 18 cents worth of risk. We could retrace back up a little bit. I'm going to take that risk right now with DraftKings, try to go long. And just as I say that, it pops up 10 cents.
Oh, we got a wick top on UVXY there. That could be enough to get in. I'm looking at Tesla. Tesla's still, sorry, I was looking at Square there above 90 as well. But Tesla is right, it's at the lows. Oh, is this a curl? You're going to give it to me in front of 845 instead of in front of 850? Okay. I said I was going to look for the first sign of a curl on volatility before I got into it. I guess we got it. I'll put the stop through 845, and if this is going to be the turn, this is what worked out yesterday. It was the only way I wanted to get into it. If I got to step in front, if you lose $3, it's at least a relatively tight stop there. Sidhu was holding 420, by the way. So that's got a bit of a buyer there. And we'll see what happens. And when I say there's at least a little bit of a curl forming, you got a wick top on the 5-minute on UVXY, and that was my indication for entry point. Now, when you consolidate here, you break out the top, Tesla's going to take 845. If you make any kind of a decent retracement, you could pull back like 20, 30 cents on UVXY, and Tesla could go $5 to $10. Like, that's what happened yesterday. It wasn't even a big pullback. It's worth the risk to reward. We'll take a shot at it. I didn't take Square because it's way too far away from the stop. It's a tighter stop here in Tesla than I would have on Square if I took it, or Block, whatever. And there it goes. Hands off. We just broke higher on UVXY, out of Tesla, going to adhere to our stop. We're still holding on to our shorts, at least in Virgin Galactic, and of course Sidhu. But Tesla took the shot. At least I waited. I'd have been in twice and lost twice if I didn't wait for UVXY to try to make a crest.
Yeah, we're right here on our friend here. He's right there, just trying to get out of some shares here. Facebook. So we just, that's not the minute chart. There it is right there. Facebook going down, 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 lower, lower, lower here. No idea, again, about this name. Where is the bottom here for Facebook? Like, I don't know, but we've just made a lot of money on this trade. So far, so good here. Pretty happy with the performance of FB. Let's just see where we go, though, right? I mean, there's still some upside here, potential coming for Facebook. So a little bit of a nervous move here to the downside. Like I said, I don't really have an idea on where we want to get out of this name, but it's just to the downside, and we are pretty flat on it right now. So I just cannot believe the kind of move that we've just seen here in FB, guys, right to the downside, down to, I mean, I can believe it because the market's tanking, which we still had full boat, but so far so good here on FB, guys. Wow. Brendo?
One that is notably strong in a otherwise weak market, guys, Funko, which is FNKO, I should say, getting an investment this morning from another company. So just ticked higher on volume there for FNKO.
Yeah, that was the only name that was actually pretty decently to the upside, and a lot of big investors sort of stepping in, saying it's undervalued. Iger was one of them, a big consortium for Funko. I'm watching Peloton. It actually did not hold 15. There was size on 15 when I said I was getting out, and I hopped on the bid at 15.01. There was some size down there, and look, it rolls off a cliff at $19 on the daily chart. I'm going to always think 15 is the next stop, or at least the potential next stop. But if you don't have stops on your longs, like I'll show you, this was Micron. It looked like it was going to work. We got some out for some profit, and then it takes out that low. Look what happens if you hold on to it. You're just dying, and it's the same thing with Tesla. Like, if you try to grab a long side of the trade, just make sure you adhere to your stop, because we're only heading southbound at this point. So if you got a good short that you like, fair enough. I still have Virgin Galactic. I might short a curl on that one. The previous all-time low, 665, 670, that area, looks like it might be turning. Sidhu, by the way, just found a bid at that 410 breakout price. So there's been buyers 410 to 420. It might try to put in a lower high. If it does so, I think it's going to be an actionable trade to reverse back into it. I haven't traded Binko Ventures yet, but it did just bounce off $3. So it's held support at 3. If it tries to come back into this channel, that 330 to 335, that could be at least faded. But keep in mind, on the higher time frame, I guess I have to go to the daily chart for you here. That $3 level had a lot of consolidation here as well. So the fact that it caught some buyers, you could get back into that 350 range. And remember, if it breaks and holds above that price, next stop is that $4, which is the monster level on the daily chart.
Yeah, we're short into 94 here. There we go, we're out. I was going to say we're short into 94. Looks like AMD's starting to go back upside right now. So, yeah, this might be the name that's strong. Facebook is $3 in the money and tanking. Like, was there a report or something that I missed on Facebook today? Because, I mean, this is an absolute disaster to the downside right now. AMD just wicked to 9. Wow, AMD is 95. AMD is ripping right now like crazy. Good thing we got out of that one. Let's go short here in case I don't know what's going on, but we're going to get out if this breaks through 95 to the upside. But that's a big move right now.
High of day right now in AMD? No,
I went short there, but I got to get some out. It is ripping. There must be some news. Maybe that NVIDIA thing is nothing again.
I just checked NVIDIA. NVIDIA was still hanging off some of those lows. Look at the level this is the level that you're pumping into on AMD right now. Give me a break. Like, you're pumping into that close price. You had a wick top here before. This is 95 even in a market that's tanking. I like AMD as much as the next guy. But that's an obvious take a shot at it when you get any kind of a pop, especially when it had a wick high there. I understand if I had seen NVIDIA also screaming or some kind of an indication volatility was going the other way, fair enough. But I'd rather short into it. Just quick scalp there on AMD shorts. Brendo, what's up?
Yeah, nothing to note, guys, that I've seen as of yet on Meta. I'll let you know, though, if I do. One that we mentioned yesterday, Fisker. I mean, there's an unlimited number of charts that look like this today, but Fisker just popping up on volume here at day lows, down 2.5. And remember, there was a better than expected jobs report this morning.
It's kind of one of those, is it good news?
Yeah, we were talking about that. I thought good news is what we actually wanted. But, so right there, look at that AMD. We talked about reloading it. We're now 50 cents in the money on that and starting to go down. Let's go. Give me that 94 bid, baby. Boom, right there. We're getting jacked up again as the money coming flying in right now on these trades, man. We are just on fire today. Other than DraftKings, this has been a monster day. Look at this. Look at this move, man. We're short now $1 in the money on AMD. Not only that, we gave that to you. And look what else. Let's go. Trader TV. Bang, 201 right now. $6 in the money right now on Facebook shorts, guys. Like, what's up with that? What's up with that right now to the downside right here for Facebook? Man, I wish we still had a lot of these shares on. Then it would be golfing and retiring day. But right now, down to 201. Facebook just continues to make a move to the downside here. Man, this is a good day if you're short, not if you're long. It's been a couple problems here the last little while, but there it goes, man. Let's just take out some more AMD as we're back down here to 94. 94. Let's get, there it is. We got a 96 out right there. Wow, good day today. BBIG, we did buy down here at 302. Maybe we get back into here, into the 20s, and we could save ourselves on BBIG. But let's effing go. I see. What's up, Shakib? What's up, everybody else? Let's go, man. This is what we're doing today. We got the hat, we got the merch on, and we're rocking and rolling here.
Yeah, I mean, like that was an absolute gift on AMD, just up there, that 95 level. It showed itself to you. And the other part of that was the first thing I did was flip to NVIDIA. I was already looking at Micron and saw it didn't do much of anything. This was NVIDIA sort of hanging around, chopping at that bottom end of the range. So as long as that was the case, that level was definitely going to be valid. You're still, look, these futures right now, and I know we're showing you the individual names that are moving. Let's have a look at what the ES is doing just for a quick second, because you're right into, if you go to these lows on the week, this is pretty much it. Like right here, right now on the ES, we are getting into those lows. So if there's a chance at a bounce, or I'm not saying it's the only chance at a bounce, but if there's a place to maybe bounce, you're looking at that weekly low. That's why grab the profit there on AMD, because for whatever reason, it was relatively strong. The market catches a bouncer, it could get pretty interesting. Remember Block? That broke 90, is now at $89. I know Bitcoin made another leg to the downside there, breaking through Ether as well. But wow, Block is this is the one that got away. I'm still offering from what I tried to add to this position at the open at 101. I can probably go ahead and cancel that fill, because it would have to halt to the upside to fill me.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was looking. I was like, are you still talking, or what's going on?
It happens. It happens, man.
Yeah. Okay. Just looking here. I mean, I was trying to find out more stuff about Facebook here, because like this name just continues to make a move to the downside, and we have these shares on. So pretty happy with the way Facebook is moving right now. But we just bottomed out and then ripped there. So we only have 10% left. So it's not like a big, huge thing right now. But again, I don't know, where did that come from? And what I'm thinking about is like, do I want to re-short this name? That's really the idea behind what I'm trying to think here, because look at AMD, man. Good thing we just cashed that out. Like, we're right back to these levels. Ooh, actually, that reminds me, I'm going to cancel my stop out right there, because it pushed me longer with the shares. But maybe the market has bottomed, but I don't think so. Here's AMD. Let's try to reload that trade again here, as it just took off to the upside one more time. Oh, there it comes. We should have had that reload, but we didn't. AMD right now, let's just respect that 95. If it breaks it, it breaks it. But until it does, man, let's just keep on getting short into AMD. I'm going to hold this Facebook, and like I said, it's only 10%. It's not a big deal. But there we go. Look at this trade that we have on board right now. DraftKings. We talked about that one. We just got some AMD there. We'll take a little bit out. DraftKings on the reload, right back in there. So we are long right now, 26. It's back up to 40. Maybe this one floats a little higher for us here. That is DraftKings, looking at that. And then there's the reload. We just took it on AMD. In at 70, out at 50. Let's see if it continues to make a move down. We are going to respect some of these VWAP areas, though. Like 94 is a pretty good out. But looks like we might get taken out at 95 in just a couple seconds anyways.
95 is definitely a stop you don't want to miss on AMD. And as the market tries to make a bit of a bounce here, a few notable names, Rivian here. To say that it's putting a power move to the upside, Rivian's back through $30, man. It just climbed $1.50. Like, that's a V-shaped bottom if I've ever seen. I know I haven't seen what's going on in Lucid. I'm probably going to take a look at that in a second. But pre-market lows were 30.50. Rivian is squeezing to the upside. Now, I'm always going to try a little bit of a fade here when I see it. But wow, that is a heck of a recovery. So if 95 goes in AMD, that's a stronger stock. I'm not going to look to fade it again, but this is starting to get out of hand. The second we get any kind of a curl in Rivian, I almost got to play it. There's 95 on AMD. This could, if the market makes a low here, AMD once again, like, it's got to have retail behind it. It's probably just call buying, to be honest with you. Now, that's probably all it is. But
I don't know what it
it's
is.
so much stronger than everything else that I'm looking at. This has been a strong bounce off the lows, but looking at what some of these names are doing, AMD and Rivian, like, this is out of hand. We're still on the bottoms in the overall market and barely bouncing. And look at the recovery. Rivian's about to go positive, which is unimaginable to me right now. The lockup is expiring next week. It's about to go green, really?
Well, Rivian. All right, we're going to short some Apple here into 156. 155.50 has been a good little level here. And again, I'm just, trying to go shorts. It's been a good day for the short. I mean, you've seen some of these plays come in. And here comes Apple right now in the money 20 cents. But, will it come back in here? That's kind of what we're waiting for. We're going to give it to 156. We're going to level it up into here, see if 156 can hold on Apple. And we will average into this, but it's going to have to be a lot closer to 156 there on Apple. We've made a lot of money trading this name, but we've waited for levels to come through. So I think it's wise to do that one more time, as now it's coming back in. It is also wise to take a little bit of profit. If we can get something out right now, sub 1, there we go. Do we get those 94s? There it is. Nice little trade. I mean, there it is right there. So, I mean, there's a nice little short from Apple. We just put that on and took down 40 cents right away there on Apple. So far, so good on that trade. It does look like AMD came back in there. So got blown out, but still, the short's been good for us, man. Like that short, we just took a 70-cent hit or something, not even on that. But now it's come back in, and look what's happening to Apple. We're already ringing the registers on this one as this is coming back in a little bit here. See if I can get out in the 70s on Apple off that quick short. And DraftKings in the money 25 cents. Where's my offer? I don't have any offers on DraftKings. Let's get a piece out on DraftKings right now. Is that just ripped to the high side?
We'll do some backflips here because of Rivian. I was just looking on that tape, and once we got into the pre-market range, remember it's 30.71 that it closed at, right? Like, where's this wick? It gets right up to that 30.70 area and then stalls at exactly the point that it would have turned green on the session, and then starts reversing back under the pre-market lows. That's first out. Afternoon bottoms was in front of 30. That's going to be the second out. And if this market makes another leg down and we reclaim 30s, that could get ugly on Rivian. However, freaking D.
Yes.
Wow, it's so strong right now. Like, this is insane. I just saw the bounce in the futures stall out a little bit, and AMD made a fresh high.
Yep.
So at this point, if you're looking for relative strength, you don't have to look any further than advanced micro devices. It's so strong, I'm going to call it by its real name. There you go. By the way, Sidhu is kind of barcoding, so the short's working, but it's not flushing. That's the best way to put it. I'm just sort of enamored with AMD here. I do have to watch out for Rivian, because if we do get a strong enough bounce, at this point, if you look at the 15-minute chart, what do you see here on the lows? If we reclaim these highs, you've got a wick bottom on volume after a couple of days worth of disaster through the fresh low, and then you have a recovery. That is prime for a squeeze. So you never want to get caught with your hand in the cookie jar. If this ends up being a bottom, the futures start running from here. Rivian's the exact kind of name that can squeeze on you. Understandably, though, you do have that lockup expiration, which I think could also weigh down on the stock. And even Virgin Galactic is making a bounce here. Right? If this is getting back above the all-time, which it just broke back above the all-time low, it's got to be a strong move if Virgin's even trying to climb back above 10% down.
All right, wow, okay, here goes Apple right now. Wants to take out these highs, so there it goes right through. We didn't get out exactly at 156. We're going to give it a little bit more room, but Apple is screaming to the upside right now as the whole market. Maybe it's getting back again to the upside, so let's wait to see. We did take NVIDIA. NVIDIA screamed up to 185 there. We take that break, so let's wait to see here. Is this market for real, or is it not at this point? So Apple's starting to move higher, that's for sure. It looks like we'll get out of that one pretty soon. If that does go, but we do have not problems, but right now NVIDIA, we just punched in the long rate here at 185.40. If that goes, great. We've seen NVIDIA get beat down today, all the way down to 180. So there is some damage control happening right here on NVIDIA. So let's wait to see, does it want to go yes or no? NVIDIA 30 cents in the money temporarily right now. Out if it breaks back down below 183 here on NVIDIA. Otherwise, let's see. There it is. $1 now in the money on NVIDIA. Hopefully this is a good one for us.
Back from the dead, possibly. Open Door here just got back. Just remember, Open Door halted to the downside, and it got through its last week's low.
Yeah,
this
DraftKings
650 monster level on Open Door. It just reclaimed it. You can see down here on the daily chart. I just went long. I'll give it to the low of the day. The market is rebounding rather nicely. I mean, Tesla is at 870. It's about to get to. So you are getting a bit of a bid back in. I feel like on the most garbage names, if they're popping, you can reverse it or sort of reload like a Rivian, maybe a Virgin Galactic. But Open Door already flushed and halted down. Back above 650, I'll go for the long trade there. I said I'd look at Lucid. Lucid is still looking relatively weak. Got to cancel those offers. Relatively weak on Lucid. You're seeing it only come back halfway. this is the kind of name that you want to maybe short a curl in if it gets back to 1840. Not nearly as strong as some of these other bouncers.
Wow, Facebook, a real good bounce. Apple, we're out of Apple as I took out 156 like easy there. So we're out of that one. That's a losing trade for us. But NVIDIA is not. That's 80 cents in the money right now. Facebook has come way back in right now, man. Way back up, sorry, to these levels right here. Softy also at some nice levels where you possibly might want to punch long. There it is, a nice one for us on NVIDIA as that's starting to go back up to the upside. So all good on that trade right now for NVDA. A nice little upside bump. And I am looking at 187, $1.70 now in the money on NVIDIA. Let's see how high this one wants to go. Do we get back to 188, 188.50? I think this is worth holding for sure. NVDA right now, upside. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey guys, markets are reversing. Let's see how the strong dab move is. Meanwhile, please make sure you like this video, guys. We have more than 6,000 people watching, only 1,200 likes. We'd really appreciate if you find less than a second, smash that like button, and back to you guys.
All right.
Yes, sir, and we'll definitely do this. Is the bounce in here, reclaiming the weekly low on open door. It just broke through, like we took to 650 when it did that. I want to make sure I'm getting profit out in front of the previous low of the day. Yesterday was a big flush, obviously. $7 is a big level. We'll get out some in front of that. I mean, Sidhu was kind of doing a little bit of a barcode, so I don't want to get over to it, but not barcoding is Vinco Ventures. So it's now back up into this 330 range after holding 3 even. Remember I said this could be the curl here, like 330, that 340 area right at the open that it got to. If it cannot get above that price, I put a short into that 340 level. If it gets off the high of the day, you know what kind of damage you can do. There is room to $4 on Vinco Ventures. I don't know if we've talked about Microsoft this morning.
Not really. I've been looking at it, but...
So, come on, the chart load. Microsoft
we got to reload on Facebook.
So if you just see like right now, like how Microsoft just got to the previous, like yesterday's low, morning low, and then reversed hard, like $2 to the downside. So like it tried to sniff going back to the previous lows, and then someone just dumped it $2. So I'm kind of backing off on how much I want to chase these longs when I just saw that move in Softy back down.
Yeah, there it is right there on Facebook as well. Look at that reload, man. 205.30, right down $1 now in the money on that name. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we'll lose. Like, I lost on Apple, right? But you see, like, it's not as dramatic there. Like, this NVIDIA trade, now it's come back in a little bit, but that was a good one. And then look at this Facebook reload. Now $1.20. This is now tanking back in here on this play. So a nice move back. Wow, okay. $1.50 now. Facebook getting excited to the downside one more time. So where's my bids, man? We can get another piece out here. How low did that go? That went pretty low there. Let's get another bid in the 70s. That just went to 203.50 there. Wow, our best out is 204.20. Here it comes back down. I am bidding in the 70s for Facebook. So if that takes one more leg to the downside, man, this is not very liquid at all, Facebook. Like, it just wants to like tank when it goes, man. That was like, wow, look, there it is. Like, look at that. Bang, right there again, $1.50 as Facebook stamped a big fail on that stock today, as that's going nothing but downside here on FB. So far, so good. Oh, yeah, and for everybody that was like downplaying DraftKings, we should have waited for 13. There's no doubt about that. But we just took $1 on DraftKings. It went all the way to $14. And I actually have to shout out Prad, because he said something like, look at DraftKings, or somebody behind us said that. And it went all the way to the upside, and we were able to get something out there. So right now, we still have 40% of that bottom. 20, 40, 60% coming back in now. DraftKings, all good, man. We are short Apple. Sorry, we're short Facebook right now. I wish I was still short Apple, but short Facebook now, $2 in the money. But NVIDIA, we only have 30% left, but we got to get out, as now this is tanking back in as well. NVDA, guys.
And unfortunately, it had to happen. I hit the cash cow because I don't have anything that could work for Sidhu. But yeah, it flushed. It looks like he's headed back to the drunk tank. It took out 4 even, and once that happened, you knew it was probably headed back into this 350 area. I don't know if this is going to be it's got so much liquidity that it's pretty unlikely to halt, but starting to pull back pretty heavily as a market. It was weird, man. Like that wick on Microsoft, I wish I had the level 2 up, because the way that it reversed, it was such a big sell. Like, and everything just turned here. Like, Rivian just came back and bounced off 30 even, actually. So Rivian now finding a buyer at 30. I might get out of Rivian in front of 30 if I get it again. But that nice little turn, it tried to go green on the session. It gave you the short right in front of that 30.71 previous close. And if I can play it back into 30, that's just a free scalp. Like that 60-cent scalp for the last of it there, average about 35. But realistically, when you get this whipsaw action at this time of day, I'm more inclined to take profits if I've got something which is holding lows, like a Virgin Galactic, I think it's a little bit easier to say, yeah, there's no reason to be out of that short. It never quite came to where I would have wanted to reload up around $7, but that doesn't mean you can't hold on for dear life there. By the way, AMD is still relatively strong. Like it's still like this is still going, man. Like holy crap! Why not reverse 95? AMD is crazy.
That's
AMD
funny
is
because
crazy.
that was a good idea. Yeah, we just did that exact same thing on NVIDIA. NVIDIA gave us a reload down there, and now we're $1 in the money on that reload. So today's been a good day, man, for these reloads on some of these plays. Look at this price. We have 184.60. We just got it. 184.60 on NVIDIA. It's at 186 right now. So that's $1.40 right there to the upside on NVDA right there about as quick as possible. And then we just put on this short too on Facebook. So yeah, today so far so good here on some of these names as we're rocking and rolling and cooking with fire right here. You mentioned Microsoft, Neo, Disney down to 109 right now. Yuck. What the hell? I was lucky to get some out of this one at 185. I have a lot of stock that have been really crushed, just like a lot of us do. But wow, I mean, Disney just hit. Like, look at this 20-minute chart down to 109 again. Where are we? Wow, I can't even, like, on the daily, that's gone. On the minute chart here, bounced off 108.20 today. It just makes me sick, this stock getting destroyed right now. But there it comes right back in NVIDIA. We're going to use 184 as our out. So it was getting very, very close to getting out on this name. Is that, sorry, 180, yeah, break of 184 downside, not 184 flat. 184 break downside. We will average back in if this comes into 184.50 again. But if we break lower than that, then we're out. So here it comes. Let's go. This market's starting to make some moves here again.
Yeah, I mean, we're actually getting a strong pullback in UVXY right now off those like 1950 high in UVXY back into 19. So you are seeing at least some signs of strength. I have open doors the only long because it flushed so far. Block, I mean, down 5%, doesn't really even do it justice to the move that it put in here. But it's not even, forget about reestablishing the low at 94. It's reestablishing the 90 level at this particular point. Like, I think that's the shot here off that 90, if I can even get it down here, just to try to catch something which has huge runway to that upside. But you've got to find an entry that with a stop that you do at least like. This NASDAQ is now starting to scream, so I'm going to see if I can't get 90s. There we go. I just got some 90 quarters on block. Forget about 88. I'm giving it to 89. I don't want to lose 250 when I'm going counter trend on this one. It's only 2 longs, and it's weird. Like, instead of going for, hey, let's just go for the most quality, I'm basically taking the shots that look for the risk to reward. And the risk to reward's there in open door. It's there on block, although that's incredibly weak, as we see. Sidhu already rolled over. I know I mentioned Vinco Ventures, but you get a little bit distracted because other things start to move. Vinco does turn at 335. Volume really tapering off here. I thought it would push a little bit higher. It still has a chance. As long as it's above $3, it's got a chance to go higher. But I would fade off the top before trying any longs. But that's just me at this price.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so we are right now trying to get at, I mean, we are now $2 in the money on NVIDIA here. So if this can get up to that 180, I just put an offer at 187. So we can get up to 187, then we'll take that out right there. Yeah, we're not going to continue. Yeah, so we're here. I mean, we're just 20 cents away now from getting out of this trade. It should be a good one there if we can get it. And how about BBIG right now? A good little name to trade here for me today. As it's not a great one because we averaged in to this trade, but we're up on it. We're net positive on BBIG. Vinco Ventures today makes that move back to 330, which is where we started the trade. We didn't get anything out up there at 335, but we've been getting them out here high 20s. Just trying to see if we did have some legs to take back that high of the day. Doesn't look like it wants to do that. And there it is, $2. Bang, right there. $2 and change on that NVIDIA trade right there to the long side. So far, so good there. And we just took Facebook long as it broke back above 206. So this is the position here right now that I'm pretty nervous about. New position, Facebook long through 206. I like it, but not going to give this one too far back down, maybe 204.50 or so. Let's see if the NASDAQ wants to go north side. We have Facebook long.
It's now 10:15. And I've only got one short on, and it's the one that I'm going to have probably for the rest of the day. It's Virgin Galactic. Sidhu just got me all out at, I think, in front of 367 there, so that did work. Open door, it reclaimed that 650 on the weekly, not on the weekly, on the 15-minute chart looking at the week. And if it gets back to that 7, that was the target we put on. So we took some out at 680. Now we're looking for $7 on open door. It was a huge flush. And about the only thing I can say about that long, the report was actually pretty solid. It was gapping up in the range. And this is our initial look, was the long off of this break and then giving it back to the previous high. Always have a stop. If you don't have a stop, your day is done, right? Like that's one of those things. And you can find a bottom. We wick bottom through the low on the week, and now you get a nice little recovery. That's the kind of trade we're going to look to see if we can't get. We talked about Square just now, or Block just now, with a very similar sort of idea. It managed to reclaim that 90 even, quick scalp 90 to 91. Now looking for a retest of the previous low. So if this can get to 93, we'll take our profit and run there as well.
Oh, shit.
Wow, VIX is actually, UVXY I should say, continuing to fall. So some of these longs are going to come in. As long as volatility is dropping, the longs are going to start working.
Yeah, the longs start working. Yeah, we're working right now hard with the longs. $3.50 in the money on NVIDIA. $3.50 in the money on NVIDIA. $1.10 in the money on Facebook long. We told you we're taking that 206 break long side, and now it's at 207.50 right now for Facebook. A beautiful long there for me on Facebook. Look at the positions we have. 80 cents in the money on DraftKings. DraftKings just took out $14 right there. It's $1 in the money on DraftKings, $4 in the money on NVIDIA, $1.50 in the money on. I got to get some out of Facebook here. This is a big move to the upside. We'll take a 60. Thank you. Come again. Boom, right there as we're dropping it down. Crushed the short on Facebook, destroyed it, then went long, and now it's big time movement to the upside right now going there. NVIDIA, NVIDIA right now $5 in the money and still ripping to the upside right here as there goes NVIDIA. Wow, man, we were short AMD today. We got the heck out of that trade as that was a good one. NVIDIA taking out highs again. The market is Rip City and your boy is long everything right now. BBIG long, DraftKings long, Facebook long, NVIDIA long. The only thing we're not long is Apple that just took down 159. The market is back, baby. Is it? We're still negative on the NASDAQ.
Barely.
Let's not count these chickens before they hatch. But buck, we are hatching all over the place. Let's go to the upside right now, guys.
Yeah, look, I actually just canceled my offer on Square. Sorry, Opendoor took out 7, so $6.50 to $7 in a matter of like 5 minutes. This is what's happening on the NASDAQ quickly instead of flashing over. We're back. We're right back to where we were at the open, where we almost failed at 1290 and just absolutely screaming. And this is in the midst of volatility dying. UVXY is now cratered at $1. So watch for some of these longs. Like I said, like going to start to work out for you here. And I'm not talking about like the first and second levels. Like something like a Square, which is still down $8 from the high. If we continue a reversal, I can get through the highs. This is a name that can be back at a 95. That's why I'm holding on to it. So you got to watch out for some of these names. Getting back in and rolling over into these shorts is not necessarily a play. Just going to note some relative weakness here. In that last market pop, Rivian could not reclaim $30. So this market just went another like 200 points up on the NASDAQ. And in that 200-point move, Rivian couldn't budge. Barely even a cent. So Rivian's still relatively weak. I would revisit that short. 10:20. Time to go to small cap recap and Brennan.
Hey guys, yeah, busy morning. In addition, some technical issues, but hey, here we are. BBIG, I'll give you my take here. 345 was the initial resistance in the pre-market. 355 was that spike high. So I just took the break to the downside through 340. It goes all the way down to 290. On that flush. So if we do fail here again, I'll revisit this, but still decent volume on Vinco Ventures. Nikola, I saw this too late, but this support area from yesterday was a great opportunity, 735 right through to 680 on Nikola after yesterday had a big day as well. SIDU, took me a while to find some locates on this, still very expensive. It was 39 cents a share last I checked. If we're going to move back to 420 on this and then another failure, revisit it, but very expensive, guys, for locates on SIDU.
Very expensive, you say. Okay. Man. Wow. We're pretty excited right now. And we didn't know that this day, I mean, we knew the day was going to be a little crazy when we saw that action in the pre-market, but it's a little more volatile than I had thought even that it would be. The missed trade for me right here is going to be Apple. We talked about shorting this thing near that 160 mark. I mean, you get a 159 on a rip like that. That's a profit-taking opportunity right there for anybody on Apple. If you did have any longs down there, we don't have anything on this name. We were short. That's the daily chart. We we're short on Apple early. We're actually negative on Apple because that short, we only took out a piece there and then it ripped up to the high side. But that's a wick off top right there if I've ever seen one. So that should have been shorted. Unfortunately, we're too busy counting chickens over here because right there, if that Facebook, man, we got out that at 209. That's back down to 208 right now. And we just have pieces left because, hey, I'm always going to try to keep a piece on. So like when you're seeing me in this NVIDIA trade, it's 10% left. This blew up to the upside, so we took it all the way. We did not get a 190, but now I'm trying to sit here, take another piece out if we can, back to 188. It's coming close right now. We're at to 189 again. So if this can go back upside, we will take another small piece out of NVIDIA. It goes, let's go, man. We're at 90s right now. If this can go through 90s and get us out, that'd be great. 188.90 is where we're at right now for NVIDIA. I'm not going to change it. There it is. Bang, another $5 right there. Not another one, but there's $5 there. Sorry, $4 on NVIDIA as that's starting to go back up to the upside. And of course, Facebook retraced down. Now Facebook's back up to the high. Watch the NASDAQ, man. We're above the 50 period now. So maybe it's clear sailing. I wonder if we're going to test that 13,000 one more time. But there it is. We're getting lighter on all these trades. And by the way, we took out. Now we have that 10% left on DraftKings. Sorry, 20% left on DraftKings. 20, 40, 60, 80. So there's the dump down we lost, and then there's the move back up. We gained it back. So DraftKings still sucks for me because we did have more shares on the way down, but we recovered a little bit, made that trade. And I think patience is a very key word in today's market, Neil. You wait for your key levels and you get rewarded.
Yeah, get in and get out, and that's what we try to do all over the place. I'm being patient with Vinco Ventures, by the way, but I want to get to Neo in a quick second here because that another name with a wipeout that it just reclaimed the bottom, a wick off bottom off of a redonkulous low. If it can hold above 14.90, which is exactly $2 below the previous all-time low, or sorry, $1 below the previous all-time low, I think we can have a nice little runner here. The market probably has to help it out.
What?
But yeah, 14.90 is going to be the support level I'm looking for on Neo. Brendan.
That got crushed on earnings, guys. Zillow and Zillow Group was down huge. Another one trying to bounce here, though, back above some of the key levels from aftermarket yesterday. Nice push back towards 39, though, for Zed.
Had no idea what he said there.
I can't.
When Lucas comes back, we're going to fix that so we can hear Brendan. We have no idea what he's saying.
It was Zillow. I know it was Zillow.
Oh, Zillow, okay. So Zillow, Brendan said. So, okay, I just said to Neil, I cannot believe Microsoft wicked to 278 right there. And I double-checked it on eSignal. It did. It went up to 278-ish, like 277.90, something like that on this name. So wowie wooey on that one right up to the upside. I want Microsoft short, but now I don't want it at these prices when I've already seen it make that kind of a move. Yeah, I don't know, man. If we get back into that 278 area, definitely something to look at right there. And guys, BBIG. Like, let's go for that one. Let's go what's up to everybody for that and spin the money. I mean, I didn't think we'd be able to spin the money thing here on BBIG today, but look at it, man. Our reload was down here at 05 for BBIG. Now you're up to 40s, 39s. It's really starting to get going. Let's take another piece out. 40s on BBIG? Yeah, sir, we'll take some of this. Nice little runner here for BBIG back up to the upside. And here we go again, man. Facebook, NVIDIA, DraftKings all starting to pump one more time. But BBIG, 340. I think this is worth taking a piece out on this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it rolled over from the morning. So if it gets through this, like I said, waiting for that high of the day, that's about 358, I think. 359, sorry, in front of 360. Neo, which reclaimed, wow. And it's not just that it came back up above that $15 range, right? Like it rejected it. Now it's consolidating at that range. That's why we got in. It's holding that high and consolidating. I just got some out in. This is a lower high, well, 1520, but the gap that it can fill if it breaks this 1520 is up to 40s or 50s. So you want to hold on to something through there. I'll reload if I get a chance. I'm holding on to Block. This is one that I was going to take out at this 93, that in front of the 90 long. But after I saw the continuing move down in volatility, when you got a bottom like this, there is room to 95, 96. We're going to hold on for a little bit more. If we can get $5 on that trade, we'll be pretty happy to do so. The next trade, I'm almost certain, is going to be Vinco Ventures, given how strong it looks. But I said if it got back into that high, I'd try to short it off of that high, being very, very patient because
might be right
that
here.
is a wick off bottom. It might be here.
Like it just hit 45.
But I'm looking for the high.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
The high's a good, it's 360, right? So I'm kind of looking for something in like the high 40s or like 50s even before I want to jump into this. It's pretty strong, and this market is trying to come back here. yeah, the buyers have finally stepped in. If you get wick-off bottoms like this, it's the kind of thing where if volume dies down in the afternoon, you could just sort of glide higher because there's not a lot of resistance.
Yeah, I agree with that statement for sure. Okay, so right now we are honestly just like loving Vinco Ventures because that's why I said to Neil, maybe that 45 was the high because we got it and then I saw it like stop on a dime and come back in. But right now, guys, we are in, and sorry to tell you this for everybody that is part of Ape Nation and whatnot, I am now only in 10% of Vinco Ventures. So almost out of everything there on Vinco Ventures. Yeah, AMC could basically go to hell today for me because it was a negative stock, but again, it dipped all the way to 1350. We got out of the way at 14, so I consider that a win, to be honest with you there on this name. But let's just go over to Brendan and see what he's up to.
Decent move back up for some of the energy names. Oil rallying as well, guys, but Oxy here just popping up on heavy volume. You can see a nice move back above 62. Apparently shareholders have rejected, though, an emissions target proposal put out by the company. So a volume spike there for OXY.
It's probably not that big of a surprise. Like if you're a shareholder in Oxy,
just tried to punch
you want them to
Apple
maximize
there.
profits, and that's above anything else. And that's just a harsh reality of it there.
Okay.
But Occidental, I don't know how many names are doing this right now, but it's pretty much almost everything I look at. Like you're getting to what the previous lows, and you're finding resistance. It's almost as if everyone's just sort of saying, what's the most obvious level on the chart? And then that's where the move is going to stall out on. And that's what you get in liquidity vacuum. So, always have a volume indicator up there just to see how much volume we're doing on some of these presses to the upside. But yeah, you're just rejecting some of those lows, guys. And the turnaround just happened on Tesla as well at 880. That's pulling back in. Watch for 860. If it can hold that, I think Tesla could have a nice little bounce again, but it's $10 away.
Okay, so here it is, just a 50-cent win. We hit the siren there. We got into Apple again on that pop back up. So right now, man, like I've already made 130 trades today, like insane amounts, but we're ready to rock and roll now, man. I mean, there's an Apple short right there, 158.50, took a piece out, 158.15, and now comes back down to the downside. So instantly in a 50-cent winner here. $3 in the money now for NVIDIA, $3 for Facebook, 50 cents. Well, now Apple's been dancing around here, but we are looking at Apple right now to that downside. So maybe we'll take another piece out here, rate flat. There it is, 157 flat. 158 flat. Nice little trade into there. These wick off tops at 159, that's really what we're concerned with. Yes, sir. Go downside now, Apple, baby. A nice little move down here for AAPL. We have like an odd lot now in NVIDIA because we got partially filled out. Remember I said we only had 20% left. Now we're down to like 3%. So maybe we'll just get out of NVIDIA here. But, we'll put an offer. I mean, money is money. If we can get this out around 188.50, something like that, then maybe we'll take it on that one. But there goes Apple. We just shorted that one. We hit the siren for you. Now let's see. Ooh, right down here to 157.70. That looks like a good out right there based on these tops. So let's get out 157.70, see if we're lucky enough to get that right now on AAPL. Downside move coming.
Yeah, and I was just showing on it. Well, I mean, Brendan brought Oxy to us. It wasn't me. But that whole setup where you get that bounce right back into pre-market lows or maybe even like the pre-market range, and then it starts to fade. So I see Lucid. It's the first one I pulled up. Like, what was something that broke through and just absolutely died on major resistance and then has a little bit of a curl in that same sort of setup? And can it be scalped to the short side? So that's what I just jumped into on Lucid. I grabbed the 49 short right in front of 1850. But the thing is here, like 1875, 1880, that's where this is really wrong, and then support maybe at 18. On the other end of the coin there, if you're looking at another EV name, like Rivian's already pulled back, so this is already relatively weak. It did not continue higher. It's still, as the market bouncing, not even able to get back above and hold that 30 even. So it never gave you a second shot at this 1350 to 1370 short. Lucid, however, looks like it wants to. I decided to be patient on Vinco, and I guess you were right, Sean. I should have, if I started this at 45, obviously it would have worked, but it looked strong enough that I wanted it a little bit closer. So Vinco's starting to pull back in here. Looks like the lower high is being respected. Only unfortunately because I wanted to get into the trade, and obviously I'm not going to be able to do it. If you're still, for whatever reason, watching Sidhu, it's trying to hold 350. But I'm sure you can see the gap if 350 goes. I'm out of it, but if you're not, if you're long and you're holding this, if 350 goes, this could be at $3 before you can bat an eye. So I just always take profit on these kinds of things when they start running. It's still got a support level, but it's 3 cents away, and there's nothing beneath it.
Yeah, look, I mean, oh man, now NVIDIA just rips right back up. We got out right there. Wow, big time movement. We also noticing right now that Apple, still pretty weak, but again, with this move back up in the futures, I did take the opportunity to get some more out on Apple. We're 70 cents in the money there. We're 85 cents in the money on DraftKings. We're a quarter in the money now on BBIG, but we're almost out of that one. And then Facebook, we still have 20% left, but that is $2.50 in the money right now on FB. Man, this has been a great day. Damn it, we got out of NVIDIA, but again, it was 3% of our position, so nothing to really cry about there. And there goes Apple making lows again off that recent move. Not the lows down here, but a nice little pullback in off that good short. So far, so good on some of these plays. Brendo.
All right, just a heads up on the market, guys. The Fed's Kashkari just making some comments here on what happened as far as the forecast is concerned from Fed Chair Powell earlier in the week. Quickly, Monster Energy on a couple of price target increases today. Yeah, you heard that right, 2.5%. Nice day so far for them. Just made a day high there on some volume for MNST. Let's get a quick check on how things in Europe are wrapping up for the week. Miss V, what's up?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are set for their worst week in 2 months. Adidas is down more than 4% after lowering its expectations for 2021 sales as lockdown in Greater China hit the company still.
Yeah, back to, back to the middle of the range, we'll call it, for the S&P, guys. Just saw oil as well, back to 1.3%, approaching 110 for the third time today for oil.
110, there, yeah. It ain't over. Definitely not over. I'm gonna kick myself for getting like.
You may get out of this
I got excited. Like I rolled back into a short on Lucid, but I got excited about Squared. I'm like, yeah, we can get to 95 there, and my initial target was 93, and it turned at 93. So that's when we kind of looked the old gift horse in the mouth. Even though here we go. We looked the old gift horse in the mouth. That's ugly. You never want to do that. If we get back to 93, I will take my profit when it gets there. I did at least jump into something on a short curl because I couldn't get Rivian, so Lucid was at that price range. So it's starting to work here. Nice little wick top is try to reclaim those highs, work it back down to 18 even. I would have much preferred that this trade come on Rivian than Lucid, but Lucid was at the price where we could try to grab it. And I talked about Tesla reversing off 880. So it looks like, and the reason I said 860 has more to do with yesterday's bottom than the fact that it happens to be VWAP, right? Like I care much more about where on an absolute market flush, where did the buyers come in late in the day on Tesla than VWAP on my chart today. Like, so that's where the 860 came from. If it can manage a consolidation there, it could be worth it for long. As soon as I say that, we get the first out there on Lucid. I'll take some more in front of quarters, some in front of 18.10, and then eventually 18 even would be the last out there. Well, not the last out. I might hold on for a little piece for it on Lucid. You are getting a slight bounce on volatility here. Like UVXY is catching a bit of a bid. So it broke out at 1825. It's now catching a bid off that 1825 level. If it gets back toward those highs, you might start to think about that being a bit of a bounce play for some of these individual names, right? Because you might reject that top on volatility, which could give you a temporary bounce. Also a good place to get out of some of your shorts in case UVXY gets back to those highs.
All right, to tell you. Okay. All right, let's go. All right, so just messaging Trader Prad there. All right, so Facebook right now, just so you guys know, we dumped that trade. So we got out of that one right there at 207.50 once that broke down to the downside. So you can see we are now flat on FB. So no trades on FB right now. And then Apple's my most recent trade that we just put on. We do have a guest coming in about 10 minutes, so that should be an exciting segment for everybody as well. But there goes Apple to the downside. And again, I'm going to hold this because the market right now, we only have 20% left on this position, but we've been scalp city here. We talked about that yesterday. Shout out to Joshua, just because Joshua Kim, I believe. I remember you yesterday from the chat. I don't know if you're in the chat today, but, you know, we're scalping now. So there goes Apple, $1.20 in the money now to the downside. I feel like the NASDAQ did a run and may not do it again. So we have to look for something that we want to short. I'm still enamored with Neil talking about that Microsoft trade. I'm not going to be able to get that. I'm not going to be able to get that out of my head because I wanted to go short Microsoft. But then when I saw that happen, it was like, how could I possibly short 275 when this took off $3. Like it went $4. Like here, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. This stock was at 274. These are minute candles. In 2 minutes, Microsoft went $4 to the upside there. And this wick happened. I double checked it on eSignal. There is a 278 wick. Even 277 is ridiculous. I wish I would have saw that, but you know, we're busy. We're $1.50 in the money on Apple. So all well there. We did take advantage of these moves to the upside, but yeah, wow, that would have been, oh, look at Apple, Tank City now, coming back in $2 in the money now for Apple. Good thing we got out of NVIDIA. We hit that and quit that right there on NVIDIA. One trade today, buy there, boom it to the upside. That's $5 right there on NVIDIA. So, hey man, we've been doing quite well on some of these plays. Where did we mess up today? DraftKings, long tank, downside. Now we only have that 10% left, but it's coming back in. That was a mistake. So we only have 2 outs, 2 negative stocks today. It's there, and it's AMC, which we were in the money early, and then it didn't respect 14 at all. It slapped 14 in the face all the way down here to 13.50. So yeah, that was not a comfortable trade for me as well. So we're going to go 0 for 2 on those 2 names, but NVIDIA, Facebook destroyed, BBIG, we don't need to tell you about that one, AMD and Apple right now. Apple actually negative, but we're holding this one. Hopefully we can put that in to our account. But Neil, quickly before we go to Sector Watch.
Comp SRX one. I'm not going to. I'll celebrate loose in a second. Said shakedown, breakdown. You're busted. And I love any line from a great '80s movie. Beverly Hills Cop is an absolute classic. Let's go to Brendan with Sector Watch.
Hey guys, another red board to show you. Unfortunately, very red, right across the entire thing. We're off the lows, so there's that. 1.4% though to the downside once again. All about consumer discretionary. That's Under Armour, the A class, and then I mean 2 classes. You can trade the one that does the most volume, typically UAA, going to be that 23% right now. To the downside, Etsy here, almost 4%. To the downside. They reported, if you remember, earlier in the week. eBay standing out positive on the day. All the travel names over here to the downside, cruise lines, all the casinos, trying to say, hotels, casinos, back in negative territory once again. This is a healthcare group. There are a few standouts here off of earnings reports in positive territory, but the group itself negative on the day, as are tech shares negative on the day. Norton LifeLock, 3.3%. They reported. That's AMD. The only one in the semi group standing out as positive right now to the upside. Consumer staples, Kellogg's reported. They're up 4%, if anyone was wondering. NRG as well, utility stock to the upside. Some of the energy names in positive territory. But I feel like a broken record. It's been one of those weeks. Pretty red once again today, guys. 1.3% for the S&P.
I'm totally going to tell my wife that the one thing that's holding up that's a big cap name, well, I shouldn't say big, I'm sure there's a few others out there, but Kellogg's showing some strength. So I guess, man, that's one thing you should have been buying today on the good report. But anyways, I said I'd come back to Lucid here. And it was more about the setup than anything else. And that's when you're scanning, look for the types of trades that you know have worked in the past for you. And then when you get a liquidity vacuum and you make that V-shaped bottom, if you don't get the bottom and you're looking for what the top can be, a rejection of an obvious level, sort of just like this right here, like where it broke down, you have this nice channel, and the top of this channel is exactly where it closed. It closed at 1885. That's the top of that channel. So as it tries to come back up here, there's no reload at 1850. The only place you should be reloading this is closer to 1870 to 1875, and then let it stop out at 1885. So that's the play for me on Lucid. Virgin Galactic, I am still holding on to. I got trailed out of Square. I probably got greedy trying to get like $5 on it instead of just taking the 2. It'll be positive because I scalped some of it. Virgin Galactic, I'm holding on to. And Tesla, oh, it came so close. It came so close. It just bounced down here to 860. Like it bounced to 862, and I was looking for 860 back here. And then it got to 863 on the next wick, so about $1 away from catching that bid on Tesla. Now it's gonzo, but that's the kind of thing you got to look for. Like, be very, very patient when you're either buying the dips or fading the top. We're now getting into closer to lunchtime where if you don't have something on that's deep in the money, you want to be conservative with it. You don't want to get too dug deep, getting caught shorting lows or getting caught buying tops. This market is trying to put a recovery on, but for now, it's pulling back.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, so we got out of our Apple there as I broke through 157.25 or so out of Apple. And that last little trade there was $1.13 we took on Apple. So we shorted it up there, went all the way down. It respected the 50-period moving average, and then just came back in after that. So right now, Apple to the downside, and we got out of that. I mean, like I said, I feel like this has to be a scalping situation here today. We actually called that top on BBIG, and I even said to Neil, I didn't actually, I went in and paid for shorts. That's stupid of me there, but I was holding to see about the top, so I wasn't going to go short there, but if it does come back into the 40s or 50s, I believe that that's a decent, or 40s, I guess, is a decent opportunity to get out, not 50s, if you're lucky enough to get that. One more shot here. The NASDAQ just went above the 50 period, so we're going to test Facebook here off 206.
Oh, God,
we're starting it a bit early. That's because I want to buy a little bit more down here. Oops. Are we on Facebook? Yeah, we are. Down here a little bit. So we'll see about it. And then if we take down that 205, 206, I mean, I don't even want to get too cute with this. If Facebook takes this down, we'll get out. But we're going to average in right now to Facebook around this 206 area. It's bounced off here before. So we'll try it, an average into Facebook downside right now. We're long 206.80. And again, what we're trying to do is just look at this. It's respected and held this 205.75. So now that I see that, I think that's going to be an area for me to put my bids in. So 205.75, we're going to put that in for Facebook right now, but I got to get over to it and do it right now. But that's an area that I like there for Facebook. Let's see if it can hold it out.
Yeah, exactly. And look, have that plan of action. Like, make sure you're following all of the steps. Like, where do I want to get in? Especially where is it going to be your out? And I did mention, and I'm really hoping no one actually held on to this Sidhu. I'm actually questioning why I didn't just try to short it Sidhu through 350, because it flushes 350. Now you're back into $3. And as fast as these names, the faster it comes up, actually, something like this, the harder it's likely to fall when it does. And sometimes these last a day or two. But if you have a look at where this churned through, it got through this 350 area, it's not necessarily rocket science where you start to find these levels where the bag holders are like, oh, I'm very happy to take that out. And the short sellers are like, oh, yeah, that's exactly where I want to be short in front of. So once the shorts are in control of a level like that, it's over. And then when 350 goes, it's going to be pretty much game over again. There are some names which I do want to remind everybody. So I'm in Lucid, I should say. And if it takes out that 1880, I'm going to get out of it. But Rivian's back above $30. It's getting close to that 350 to 370 area that we liked for the short before. It closed at 371. If it goes green, I don't know if I want to be holding that short. But keep in mind, Rivian has a lockup expiration coming on Monday, which is pretty big. You know, Amazon and Ford have big stakes. I'm not saying they will sell. But if they do, you saw what happened to Tesla when Elon unloaded some. Imagine what would happen if Amazon and Ford decide they don't want to be in Rivian anymore. I think that's pretty unlikely, especially in Amazon's case, right? Like, Amazon's ordering from them.
Yeah.
That relationship, to me, I don't see them dumping. I think it's more realistic that Ford could consider to get rid of their shares, but Amazon, they definitely could.
I think we need to do a little more work on that, because there may be restrictions too.
How many they could sell.
Exactly, and they may not be part of that lockup expiration. So we'll wait to see if that does come through. So we are getting ready. As soon as we are, guys, we can throw it over there to our guest of the day, but it should be a good one. I'm excited here. We did get loaded up there. Wow, Facebook, okay. Nice little pop there for FB. We'll take that. A nice little pop for FB right there. Yes, FB. We're long. What the hell just happened? We are long right now, Facebook. It just popped $1.50 for me right there.
Bounce.
Straight upside right there. Facebook, look at that bid we just got. What the? Okay, let's just do this quickly, man. Let's just do some backflips right there. No idea what just happened to Facebook, and we are not going to count our chickens right there. We're going to get out right now. Oh, there, wow. We just took this trade, guys. We're $1.80 now in the money on Facebook as this is ripping to the high side. Bang, Brendan, let's go. Guest of the day.
All right, market trying to hold, guys, that 409 area on the SPY that Rune was talking about early on this morning. Cybersecurity has popped up again and again over the past months, weeks, even the past couple of years as not only an important topic from the news side of things, but a very, very interesting sector for investment purposes. We're talking today a little bit about cybersecurity attacks in 2021. We saw the food processing industry be targeted. We saw multiple cryptocurrency-related attacks, even a major oil pipeline in the U.S. targeted on a cybersecurity attack. We're happy to have Ian Patterson, CEO and Director of Plurilock Security, joining us today to give us a little more insight here. Ian, it's great to have you. on why, I guess, to start things off, in your opinion, over the past definite 2 years, 24 months, let's say, this has become so much more of an issue.
Well, Brandon, thank you. It's good to be here. I think that the big thing to keep in mind is that over the last couple of years, cybersecurity attacks have shifted from the damage that they can do. You know, it used to be you'd think of the Target breach or the Home Depot breach. These ultimately resulted in stolen credit card numbers. Wasn't ideal, but you know, it didn't affect the everyday average consumer quite as much as what we're seeing today. I mean, think of JBS, Meats, Colonial Pipeline. I mean, these attacks have now been shutting down our ability to go get gas in our car, our ability to go get meat at the supermarket, and we're seeing much more of that today. So ultimately, cyber attacks are affecting our everyday walk of life, and I think that's why people are starting to become so concerned about them.
Let's take a step back here for anyone who's maybe not caught up as far as what we're speaking of. Let's give us a breakdown here. When you hear that term, cybersecurity, everyone's obviously heard the term before. What exactly are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about information security, and really in today's environment, pretty much everything is connected to the internet. Everything is computerized. There are very few industries that are not yet running on computers. And so cybersecurity is the industry, and it's the practice of keeping those assets safe. So think about when you are logging into your online bank account, when you are paying for something using a chip and pin debit card. There's cybersecurity that is protecting all of those interactions. And when they get breached, unfortunately, whatever it is that they were protecting has the opportunity to go down, go offline, or otherwise be disrupted.
U.S. government basically saying at this point that this is not, at this point, a problem that even has a solution, and it's something that everyone just has to kind of get used to dealing with on an ongoing basis. From a very entry-level beginner standpoint, what can we be doing on a daily basis to protect ourselves? Everyone's walking around with one of these in their pockets on a daily basis. So tell everyone what they should and could be doing that they might not be right now.
Biggest thing to keep in mind is whenever possible, use a password manager. Don't reuse the same passwords. Frequently, what will happen a lot of times is if there's one website or service that gets breached, all of the logins and passwords will be stolen and then actually sold again on the dark web. And so that means if you reuse the same password from that one site, or what I think a lot of people do, they just have one password they use everywhere, that can really create a lot of vulnerability for you. So whenever possible, try and use different passwords, use a password manager. Whenever you have the option of using either two-factor or multi-factor authentication, that's the technical term for getting a text message to your phone with that 6-digit code to type in when you're trying to log into a site, turn those on. These are very small habits that can really make a large impact on reducing your attack surface or the threats that you can face. And it gives you a little bit of an edge, right? It's that same story of two hikers see a bear in the woods. One hiker starts lacing up their shoes. The other hiker says, "What are you doing? You can't outrun the bear." First hiker says, "Well, no, I don't need to. I just need to outrun you."
Great point. Great words to live by, even. Plurilock invited to an exclusive Canadian Intellige event. This just out this morning, guys. Brand new press release from the company. Tell everyone about it.
Well, Plurilock is a Canadian cybersecurity company. We do a lot of work with both the U.S. government as well as commercial clients. And today we're very proud. We were invited to an exclusive Canadian intelligence cybersecurity event, and so we had sent a representative. And we're doing good work there. And ultimately, this is all in keeping with trying to keep our clients safe and by extension, keeping everyday consumers safe. So we're excited to be there. We're proud to be there. And this is another win in the company's books in terms of the validation that we're getting from third parties.
Yeah, growing sector, and rightfully so in today's day and age. Happy to have Ian Patterson, CEO and Director of Plurilock Systems. Appreciate you doing this today. Thanks.
Thanks, Brandon.
Have a good one. PLUR, guys, on the venture exchange for them.
Yes, sir. And yeah, man, you don't want that password to be password That's not.
I've got those warnings exactly like what he was saying there, where it's your passwords have been breached, and then Google or whatever, it's the browser or whatever you're using, will say to you like, hey, yo, you might want to change all your passwords up there. So I think that's awesome, and I think that the more protection you have, and he said the dark web, like how scary is that right now? You don't want that. I mean, there are some credit cards and like that will protect your identity, but you don't want to go through all that mess there. So I think as secure as possible on all fronts, man. Great interview, Brendo.
Yeah, a fantastic one as usual. I mean, they're always great, but it's about education. Everything we do is sort of about that. It's whether it's teaching, sort of trade mentality, risk management, looking for entry points, whatever it might be, or learning about a new sector or something that's oncoming. That's what we try to bring these to you on a daily basis. We have less than 10 minutes to go, and that glide back to the upside is still gliding.
Clyde.
We're Clyde the Glide.
Clyde the Glide right there.
There's one, man. I think people, the problem with Clyde the Glide, Clyde Drexler on the Trailblazers, the problem with Drexler is no one will ever understand how good he was because he was a guard at the same time as Michael Jordan, which unfortunately means that no one's going to know who you are. But man, if there was no, and I say if there's no Jordan, of course it was a Jordan. That guy was legit. But it doesn't matter because Jordan won it all. Rivian, I did get back in at pretty much the same level. It's just right at that same top. Going to scalp it a little more aggressively because, hey, that's a pretty big uptrend and a pretty big wedge. And if we break the top of that wedge, we go. And obviously, that's what you have to be able to do. Like when you're counter trend, and now this is definitely counter trend, you don't want to get too crazy with it. If I do get out of Rivian, then the last short will be Virgin Galactic, which it was the first thing I was in, and it'll be the last thing I get out of today, knock on wood. We'll see what happens with that, obviously. The market is making a nice little bounce to the upside. Look at Tesla, right? Every now and then, I say this all the time, you've got to be willing to make bottom wick on a trade. So this was me saying, that was a turn on VIX at the high of the day. We'll take our shot, but I had to stop. I had to stop through the low. It took out the low, and that ends up being the low of the day on Tesla. So it worked yesterday for a nice bounce. Today, I got stopped out on it. But if I don't take the stop out on, say, Open Door or any of those, you could absolutely destroy it. But that is the absolute bottom on Tesla. And look at that turn. Now $40 to the upside. Brendan is ready with Money Talks. Did crypto bounce?
I was just checking. Yeah, guys, let's have a look at some currency news. Anyways, today it's a little bit quiet. Bitcoin 1% right now, back to 36. So yeah, still negative on the 24-hour period. Anyways, 2% there. For Ethereum, we've been talking about the US dollar all week, rightfully so, with the Fed coming out early on. A little bit more quiet today. We're consolidating once again around that 103.50 after we get up to 104.5 earlier in the week on the actual announcement, and then down here to 103. So kind of getting into a bit of a range, which means everything else, little change so far today. The euro was up on some positive news from the European Union this morning on their economy. Canadian dollar to the downside, about the same here. Back to 77.6 for the CAD. It's been a while since it was down there. British pound is lower on the day as well. Turkish lira is the only one really standing out. New Zealand here and Australia were both higher at one point this morning. I was just saying to Miss V, 3.7% to the downside today for the ruble. It was up 30-ish% over the past week or so. So giving back a little, guys.
All right. Look, the dollar has been crazy. It's been a crazy year for the dollar, many dollars, but the U.S. dollar nuts, obviously, as it relates to everything else. We are now almost $3 in the money on Facebook, man. We were more than that. It just ticked up to 209.50 right there on Facebook. So, like I said, and I just sent the screen cap to Baxter there, we were short, destroyed it, and then once it broke this range right there, right, that's when we started to go long again. So as soon as it broke the range and we got these bottoms, we went long. Nice trade there, came back in long again, and now we're sitting 250 in the money. So those are some of the things there that you want to look at when you're day trading, and that is that when stocks can change their mind, just like the NASDAQ did. Right now, the NASDAQ's starting to get a little heated to the upside. So we're still in this Facebook trade. It's about time to get out. I mean, we don't want to be in this for too long, but a nice little move back up to the upside right here on the NASDAQ breaking. So that's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to play back and forth, and you know, you don't always get the best trade, but you try to do your best and work out with whatever, you know, the market gives to you. So right here, nice little move back up to the upside. Let's see if we see 209.50. But what a good day, man. You're in some trades from the beginning. Me too, man. BBIG, the only one that's left from the start right there. But yeah, what a great day it's been today.
And I think I mean, it's the end of the week, obviously, but so, you know, nothing actually reports directly.
Right.
But next week, we're not out of earnings season just yet. So let's see what is on tap for next week.
Yeah, we'll get a look at what's to come Monday morning, guys. There are still a few notable names to come next week, it's worth noting. Nothing terribly exciting on Monday. There is Palantir, however.
About that. We're not talking about any of these companies right now. As yeah, I haven't bought Palantir in forever. I think the last time I bought it was 12. It's down to $10 right now. That one's getting hit. Lordstown.
I actually don't even know where that stock is right now.
Lordstown?
I have not looked at Lordstown in a long time, so I'm going to pull it up.
Oh man, Duke Energy
It's at
was on there.
$2.
What?
Lordstown is at 2. Oh, come on, Daily Chart. I really wanted to see. Yeah, but Daily Chart's going to load up here. See, exactly. You don't look at a stock for a few months in this
you don't
market,
realize how bad it is.
and it's at a price that you couldn't have even comprehended. So, wow, it's in DD territory, Lordstown.
Ooh, you just called Lordstown DD. Ouch.
No.
Ouch.
It's because DD is also at $2,
I
man.
know.
You know what I meant by that. I know.
Obviously, Lordstown's not getting delisted, but if it takes too much time below $1, which it's not at yet, then it can go down.
And in fairness, DD is a more viable business.
Shout out to Jeff Mendel. I heard you guys went to lunch and I wasn't even here. Thanks, Jeff Mendel.
It was tasty.
Yeah, what'd you have?
And speaking of, actually, well, I had like this. I had this crazy like buffalo chicken burger kind of
good call.
deal. But the salad that Jeff got, or the bowl that he got.
I would have got the bowl there.
Tasty.
I know they have good bowls
tasty.
there. They have a good tuna one. That's probably what he got. I bet. Okay.
I think we got one thing left to do here before we head over to the midday show. What day it is, and it better be a certain something, otherwise
golfing
we
day.
got a problem. No,
you know
what? Come on, Sean. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey guys, I hope you're having a profitable morning so far. But anyways, whole trading day is ahead, so please join Prad and me for more opportunities and trades. Of course, make sure you like this video, and happy National Crepe Suzette Day.
Okay, and I got nothing against Crepe Suzette, but I'll tell you what National Day it is. And
I hate Crepe Suzette Day because of this reason.
I like crepes. I love crepes. But on Sunday, it's a certain something. And so we can't say it except to say it right now, which is Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, without whom none of us would be here. I think that's sort of an obvious thing to say. So enjoy it. Call your mom. Tell her you love her. That's what you got to do here. Make sure they're appreciated. You know, you should be doing that every single time you talk to her, or every single day if you can. But that's what it's all about. Although having a crepe too, ain't nothing wrong with that, because they are absolutely delicious.
Make crepes for your mother. So happy Mother's Day to my mother, to my wife. Well, the thing is, if you make crepes, man, don't hire the Dominicans. I hope you guys know where that's from right there. But shout out to Seinfeld reference, of course, on that one. And they hired Dominicans instead of Cubans, and then the dude was rolling up the crepes in the restaurant, and it was flashing into people's faces and burnt. Anyways, Seinfeld reference. What's up, Seinfeld? Okay, yeah, Neil, it's about that time, man. What a great show. Hope you guys enjoyed it, man. And it's great because we're ending the day at my highest spot, and I think we've had a lot of great trades on for you guys today. So more coming now. I think the market probably gets to positive, and then maybe we even test 13,000 on the NASDAQ, but it's a nice little rally back here today.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get green here, but let's send you guys to the midday show. Trader Pratt and Ms. V, go get them with those market movers.
Welcome to Friday, final day of this first week of March, and it is time for market movers with the beautiful Ms. V and Trader Pratt.
Thank you, Prad, and you guys. Happy Friday to you all. I hope you're having a great day so far. So as usual, please be active on the chat. Ask us anything.